these notes afterwards and pretend like I was there.
I didn't realize you were already recording. Kind of
Oh.
spoils the mystique.
I just started like 4 seconds ago.
Okay, right, fair enough.
I didn't
And
say
now
I was ready,
you ruined
Rob.
the start of this. Yeah, but I told you that I didn't really care about that. I was gonna start anyway.
God damn it.
I mean, you were warned.
I said I wasn't ready. And
Are you ready now?
Whatever.
Well, why are you making such a fuss?
Because I can.
All right. Guess I'm not the only one being a dick today then.
Spoiling for a rumble.
Indeed. So, in the last few sessions, you made it to Orithil, choosing that a library that has been around for 800 years and probably isn't going anywhere is more use and more important than war brewing, but whatever. You met a psychopath and a kleptomaniac and dealt with them in a very efficient manner. You killed a group of people discovered to be worshippers of a goddess named Arame, who is the goddess of self-sacrifice and charity, and is now presumably dead thanks to your actions. You met Evelyn, who appeared to be the Queen of Chaos and the mother of the Chaos Lords, who fucked with Elishan and Arthas a bit before sicking two of her children on you, Gurden and Fenderol, who you were able to kill after a long and arduous battle. You then read some books, and now we're going to start with you guys on the ship, the Greyfly, flying home to the keep. So Dan, I'll take a flying check from you.
And burn. I haven't rolled yet.
Can I assist by just doing like navigation type stuff, like maybe standing on the
Sure,
front,
like
calling back directions?
All right, yeah, fine.
Yeah, Remy will move off to the forefront of the ship and sort of call back to Byron if there's, I don't know, any menacing looking clouds ahead.
I like the idea of you squealing about not hitting like a particularly large tree or something.
Sure. I'll spare you the actual squealing.
That's very kind. So int and proficiency,
Yep.
right?
Because you're ridiculous natural 20.
That's 24.
All right. So the ship flies on, heading home in pretty much as the crow flies. You see Vildalorn pass below you after maybe half an hour or so, maybe an hour, and you see the borderlands spread out before you. You can see the strange caves when you first met Durakai, and you can see the forest where the Allfanger live, and you can see just in the horizon the keep.
Roughly how fast are we moving?
I do not know, but it is pretty quick because you can travel about 400 miles in a day, I think it says. So
over 10 times our normal speed.
Yeah, I mean, you could very easily work it out, but I can't be fucked to do that. So, yeah, basically, you guys are very easily finding your way home with that roll. So is there anything you'd like to do or talk about while you're on the ship, or would you like to just skip ahead?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So once we're sort of on a steady course and things look clear, Remy is going to see if he can find Rose in a private moment.
Okay.
Where would you find her?
She's probably at the bar right now.
Okay.
You have a bar, right?
Yeah.
It's yes. Bar has been established. It only serves moonshine right now.
That's fine.
So yeah, Remy will head down to the bar and pull up a stool and say,
so you know, I was if you got a minute, I was hoping to talk to you about something.
All right.
You know, I didn't know a lot of religious types growing up, and I certainly ain't one, or I haven't been so far. But well, you know, my soul is almost eaten by a squid eyeball. And Well, that kind of experience puts things in perspective. I don't know. I was wondering if maybe you would, I don't know, minister to me? I don't know.
I guess Rose kind of just gives him a puzzled look. I mean, are you looking to convert to...
Well, I don't know if Lathander is necessarily the religion for me, but, I don't know where I'm going to go when I die. Last thing that Cathane said to me was that he'd be seeing me soon. Implies that maybe he's got a vendetta. And, I'd rather spend eternity someplace that isn't being eaten alive.
That sounds unpleasant. Who are the gods of your people?
Well, I actually have no idea.
Make one up.
Yeah.
Sure. There's Baal Beetlebottom. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a sort of a famous folklore hero who ascended to godhood. Halfling gods are kind of lame though. They're all about like farming and drinking. I like the drinking gods. They have good stories. I don't know, but I don't really live there anymore. I ain't got a whole lot to do with that part of the world, so I thought maybe I'd hear about religion around here, and maybe there's something that is the right fit.
All right. I mean, I guess I can minister and teach you some of Lathander's. I have a few contacts in other religions. If you're more into the drinking, the Dwarven Pantheon.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I mean, whatever it is. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this sounds silly, but I think I should maybe try to be a little nicer. So that way maybe like a nice god will want to take care of me when I die.
It's not necessarily about being nicer. I mean, that's certainly part of it. But I'm actually really glad you came to me. I'm a little worried about you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, are you sure you want to be here with us right now? Is that what you really want?
You mean on this ship or in the keep or?
In the keep. I mean, I didn't want to bring it up when it first happened. I was a little angry about it, but in the last, week, you've ran away from one fight and left us in a lurch after two others.
Did I? Well, there was the time with Gaiad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then you
Um,
ran to go to sleep.
You ran to go to sleep.
Fight.
During which fight?
The Burgadesh fight. You started wandering away to go fight.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I was under some kind of magic.
Well, all right, I'll let that one, but still, twice. When Gaiad attacked after you left, and then again in the library with the golem after we had finished that fight.
So Remy seems to be getting a little, like, when Remy's irritated.
Well, I mean, if that's the way you perceive it.
It's not a bad thing, Remy. That's
just not how it happened.
All right, then. How do you think it happened?
Well, when Gaiad came, I was pretty sure he was coming to arrest me. So when I ran, thought I'd be doing y'all a favor. I don't really talk about it much, but I got a mark on my head. Something I've had to deal with since I came over here from the old country.
All right,
And when-
I mean...
When I was sure that it wasn't for me they were coming, I came back. And yeah, I don't necessarily think that I'm the person to be saving the world with all of you, but I owe Byron a debt of loyalty and the same to all of you. So I came back. And
I guess, was it today when I first encountered Cathane, or yesterday at this point?
What about
I think it was yes. Oh, was it today? Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. Because we rested and then went to the library, had the golem fight, and then had the basement fight, and then had the Chaos Lord fight. It was a busy morning.
No,
But also,
yeah, because Cathane appeared like right after
The
you
golem.
fought the golem,
Mhm.
and then Remy went off and got drunk.
That was still that morning.
Yeah, it was still
Right.
the day. Yep.
but have we like traveled for a day or so, like on
No,
the ship?
it takes you like 4 hours to get home.
Oh, right. Okay.
You know, when I left, you know, after we fought the golem, you know, I was pretty sure I was going crazy, or that something had wormed its way into my brain. I was right, and I didn't want to be a liability. So, you know, you chose to go on ahead without me, and that was your call.
Like I said, Remy, I didn't want to come at you from a place of hostility. I just wanted to make sure that you were all right.
I'm trying to be.
That's the best any of us can ask. And remember, if you need anything, always ask. I mean, you saved my ass back there. You saved every one of us, our asses.
Well, I mean, I think we've established a shared responsibility for each other's asses.
Yeah, I guess. No lingering effects from being knocked out. You're all right?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that there's a pink eye ridden demon who wants my soul, so that's no good. You know, I'm just trying to put things in perspective, I guess.
I can understand that. When we return, I'll look up some maybe passages or readings that might.
Yeah,
help
well,
you.
you know, I'm learning my letters, so have you got like good books about gods and stuff?
I have some basic scriptures that I've been working with Kareen on.
I like stories too. You got like good stories about like gods and monsters and things.
There are a lot of good stories. I'll see what I can find. Maybe get some of Kareen's favorites for you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right.
Does anyone else have any other things they'd like to talk about?
Yeah. After everything is like loaded up and we're underway and things are going the way they're going, I think Elishan would just turn to Arthas and just say that she was tired and would head to like the sleeping quarters. I kind of to lay down and what have you. And if he comes with, does he come with?
Yeah. If
Yeah.
if you imply that that's like, you don't want to be left alone. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like then yeah, you would.
definitely. And like she like lays down but doesn't really go to sleep, just kind of like lays next to him, kind of like with her head against his chest or and like listening to like his heartbeat and all that other fun stuff that she whatever. She just after like feels like forever without moving, she'll kind of just say that she tried to make me choose, just like quietly.
So I imagine you say that and he'd probably hold his breath slightly. I don't understand.
Evelyn, between you and Kidius, she tried to make me choose. I mean, she showed me Kidius. I told you all that, and I don't know if it was real or not, but she tried to make me choose between you.
You kind of stay silent for a second, and imagine you just sort of, oh, that's probably trail off and say anything else.
but I couldn't. You know, I couldn't choose. I couldn't really say anything. But she told me that if I didn't choose, that she would choose for me. And then she sent me back, and I was terrified of what would happen. I couldn't choose then, but when I came back and I saw your face, I was happy that you were still here, and I couldn't make the choice then, but I am grateful that you are still here.
He would be nodding, kind of understand what you're trying to say. And you say, I mean, we've talked about it, and I don't know if what you saw was real, but it seems like she gave you an impossible choice. I don't know what's going to happen.
I kind of feel bad for how happy I felt when I came back.
He'd open his mouth to say something, but think better of it. It's an impossible position that you're in now, because either way, you're going to feel guilty about what happens, because you'll blame yourself. That's just who you are. And, well, I could try telling you not to, but I know you, and you will. But it really isn't your fault, whatever happens.
She'll just kind of nod and stay silent, I think. I hope it wasn't real. But I am, it feels odd to say, but happy about how it turned out.
He nods. So am I. I mean, the awkward thing is the sleeping quarters are like a small partition part, like next to the bar. So while this is going on, Remy and Rose are like on the other side of it, talking about beer gods.
You probably hear a little.
You see, Minerva, the captain's life is an awfully lonely one.
Inspiration.
Thanks. Just sailing these skies.
I imagine Byron is like talking to Minerva, like a captain's log.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Minerva, take down, or Milton, take this down.
Don't worry, I'll create my own friends. I imagine he's like, because it's Byron, there's like a book floating near him and he's kind of piloting, and then when there's like an open stretch, he'll just read the book.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
Oh, I seem to have picked a good one. Something to do with necromancy. Mumble, mumble, mumble.
Yeah, he's like giving a lecture on what he's reading to just the open sky.
Oh, if only there was someone to hear it.
Crean is just like sweeping the deck. But he's not listening. He's like
no.
thinking to himself or something.
Remy will come up out from below deck to go see what Byron's doing, and as he's walking by Crean, he'll just, without really looking at any particular spot, he'll just point and go, "Ah, there's a spot." And then walk into the cabin and say to Byron,
So, did we find anything useful to fight Arthas on this little trip?
Arthas?
Arthas?
Not this.
I mean, I think you have that fight. Yes.
Gaiad or
Too many
Amon?
names. Amon. That's what we came here for, right?
We thought Amon was looking for something. And there's a great many things in that library. I happen to have the volume here that's about necromancy. So that could be a start. I'm sure that would be somewhat useful to the cult.
Okay, so that's like a process, I guess.
Yes.
All right.
We can get that started when I can return to the halls and have them check the Library of Orithil.
Sounds good. So, how are you doing?
Remy says awkwardly.
Fine. Very few, if any, have had the pleasure of flying in a skyship. It's.
Do we
quite
know who
something.
made this thing?
I'm not sure if the manual mentioned.
No.
Did you know when we were going through the town? Did we happen to see like various crumbling sky docks? Like it wasn't just a
No.
one-off.
And this one wasn't on a skydog. It was just landed on a balcony.
Sure,
Yeah.
but I mean
Don't
like
think that's-
similar balconies that could
No.
dock, right?
No.
Obviously someone who occupied that large house.
And they parked it on the balcony?
I mean, I have a feeling that when they passed or over time, it deactivated and landed of its own accord. Who knows how many of these ships they had at their heyday? Maybe one of the books will tell us.
Maybe. Okay.
Remy will just kind of pop off to the back of the cabin and he'll open up one of the books that he has from Byron to practice his letters, and he'll just try to read. It's kind of like reading out loud, but like trying not to. But it's the only way he can do it.
Mm.
A is for apple.
Very well. We'll continue. And as you see the keep come into view, it looks as it has before. Nothing really seems that different. Maybe different. Some of the building that's been going on has progressed slightly. But it looks like it always looks.
Where the hell are we gonna park this thing?
How big is the ship?
It's pretty big. But I cannot remember how big I said. But like, you probably would struggle to land it in the
Within the walls.
courtyard, like without banging something. Like it could definitely fit in there, but doing it without banging something would be difficult. But it might be something where you could quite easily, like park it outside.
I mean, this won't, as far as I'm aware, this won't just, crash to the ground once we get off it. Doesn't it stay afloat?
Yeah.
So we can just moor it to a wall, or even like, remember, are you on the top floor? And there's like a tower.
Yeah, I mean, he's wherever. Oh, where is my room, you mean?
He is on the
Yeah.
top floor, yes.
So we could moor it to like the top tower and then, climb in the window. I presume the windows are reasonably large in a castle. So
Yeah. Or like, I think Elle's got like a balcony for her griffin to fly out of or whatever.
Can't we just like land it on the
But
ground
yeah,
outside?
you could very easily just land it on the ground.
okay.
Oh, we don't want people getting on it though.
Well, exactly. I can land it and you guys can get off, and then I
Does-
will.
Or you could
Tie it
spike
in
it
there.
somewhere.
Yeah, if you just hover it above the roof, I can
Right.
just drop down with a rope.
If
and
you
tie
put
it
one
off.
of the spikes somewhere, right, and then like fly it to that spike, and then have a spike in the keep, whatever, then it can be like hiding away, and then come when you need it. But yeah, I mean, maybe you could build like a mooring for it or something.
Excellent
time goes
idea.
on. But yeah, you're able to land, and the gates are open before you, and you see Bazrag waiting to greet you, as well as Vela, the students, and Arden are also back from their trip, and so everyone's sort of come to greet you and marveling at the ship. Bazrag would sort of just be staring up at it, just eyes wide and kind of mouth open like everyone else.
Pretty cool, huh?
He nods. Where did you get it?
Somebody parked it on the balcony. Pretty dumb place to put a flying ship. There you go.
He just looks confused. He has no idea what you're on about.
How's things here?
Everything's been fine. No real news to report apart from, well, their backing motions to the people I mentioned. Apart from that, it seems, well, it's been a fairly uneventful few days.
All right. That's good to hear.
Oh, where is it? Did we leave the Oryx behind? Did he come with us?
No, yeah, I'm not sure about that. I assume
I have to tell him about
Yeah.
teleport him out the basement, so I'll have to go
Yeah.
back and
Yeah.
and bring him.
which you
Okay.
can do
Which
at some point without any, rolls
as
or
it's
anything.
as it's still the same day, I haven't rested and reset the charges from when I teleported before to go learn that spell, so I have to leave it till tomorrow.
No worries.
We're gonna get back there. It's gonna be a giant pile of shit.
Possibly.
Yeah, potentially.
And I have to go to the halls at some point as well.
I mean,
So I might do that first.
yeah, there's lots of jobs that need doing.
Yeah.
But before that, Helga will come out brandishing a ladle and tell you all that you clearly haven't been eating properly, even though you've only been away for like less than a week. And
That is damn true.
she'll insist that she makes you all some lunch.
Sounds pretty
Dinner,
good.
Probably more accurate.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in between. I imagine. Yeah, I imagine it's probably like an early dinner. Yeah.
What's on the menu?
She'll just grin and head inside, and then you go in, and there's just everything. Like, somehow, through her just magical knowledge of everything, she's prepared enough food for you to come back. And there's like a huge stew. There's all these cold meats and cheeses that she's had prepared because, well, she'll probably tell you that they've had like a delivery of food from some of the more southern states. So there's just so much, just meat, cheese, a massive kind of pie that's in a huge dish, like Game of Thrones style.
Helga, you won't be terribly offended if I make myself a little plate and go eat this one in the bath?
No, you do what you'd like. It's
All
all
right.
here for you.
I'm just gonna walk over to the pie, take the whole pie, bring it upstairs, and just eat it with my hands in the bathtub.
She nods approvingly.
Thank you, Carly.
Rose would probably give Willow a nice greeting kiss and then kind of wink at her and say, "Come on, we're going to be late for dinner."
She'll just have like the biggest grin on her face and kind of follow you. And she probably just kind of, I imagine, in kind of a low voice. She's probably not one to like want to make a big fuss, but she'd just say, I missed you.
I missed you too. Lots of stories.
Was it all okay? You all okay?
It was pretty hectic. It was the last bit. There was definitely a time I didn't think I was going to make it back.
You see her smile kind of fade slightly, or maybe become fixed to her face, before she kind of shakes off and says, "Well, I want you to tell me all about it."
Stop by tonight and I will.
She grins, nods. What about what's Byron doing?
Is he like? I think he dismounts last. Oh, I would like to just have it tied up to one of the walls with a
Sure.
rope, and I could dismount from there. probably with Bazrag's help, and then standing on the battlements
Yeah.
with Bazrag.
And you
did-
see, like in the courtyard, you see Hollister, like standing, just waiting for
Oh.
you to.
Right. I was going to ask Bazrag about what Hollister had been up to, but if he's looking at me.
Yeah.
I'll like give a nod to Bazrag, and like I suppose he heard the thing about it being all quiet.
Yeah.
It's good that it's quiet enough for our excursion. I'm sure it's going to get much noisier soon. Have you sent word to the ice giants? Have you heard of them? Heard from them?
We haven't heard from them yet, but according to the old records that you found, it will be any time soon that they'll return northwards.
Willow told us that Clouthy had already come by.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So,
because I presume that
gentlemen.
you didn't describe it in
well,
the courtyard,
basi-
so I was
yeah,
gonna ask about it.
basically, yeah. Okay, he wouldn't say that then. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Say, yes. Well, the giants have returned, and we told them that you'll be back soon, and they said that in a week's or so time, they'll want to come down and speak to you personally about it.
How long ago was that? About a week from now, you say? Or...
No, that was like 2 days ago.
Okay.
So it'll be a few days before they return, I imagine.
I mean, Rose did do a sending to the giants.
Yeah. Did you get anything back?
Yes, I did. They said that they normally stay out of the affairs,
Yeah.
but if it comes to it, they'll join the fight if they have
Perfect.
to.
Yeah. So they said they'll come talk to you further about what that means.
Okay. Excellent, Bazrag. I'm glad to see that there has been a little progress on the keep walls, and like I'm sure they just
Yeah,
like the building team has made
Yeah.
a
He
week.
says Hollister has prepared a full report of everything that's happened, and there have been a few new arrivals to the keep, and Hollister wishes to talk through those with you.
Very well. And Byron gives him a nod, and probably like a slight smile because I'm sure he. It's like a guy with a really fancy car. I'm sure he noticed Bazrag like looking at
He
it.
throws him the keys and tells him to keep it warm or something.
Yeah. So as he walks by, and like Bazrag's gaze might like just glance up at the thing. He will just say, "She's beautiful, isn't she?"
To Bazrag.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll say something piratey like, "A mighty fine vessel, sir."
Arg.
Yeah. A mighty fine vessel.
It's pretty good.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. So, but Hollister is waiting for you, and you see that his arms are kind of folded into his sleeves, as he normally does, and he's kind of standing there stooped. And like everyone else has just kind of walked past him. He seems to be waiting specifically for you.
I will make my way down.
So as you head down, he'll incline his head in a steep bow. Hello, sir. Good to see you again.
Oh, Hollister.
I hope your travels were productive.
You were actually more productive than I had envisioned.
He nods, in such a way that's like, I know. I was just asking for politeness, but somehow I know. But he just nods, like, and closes his eyes and just has that sort of smile, like, as I suspected, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I'm sure Bazrag has informed you, sir, that we've had 3 new arrivals at the keep, 2 of which are representatives of the Plowshares willing to speak with you about the potential business opportunities within your keep. And the third is, well, he's a rather strange fellow. I believe he is an ice pirate, but I've kept him fed and watered and given him a place to stay. Though I'm not really sure what his motivations are, but I understand that you, and he kind of nods and like inclines his head again, are a most welcoming host, and I wish to reflect that.
I believe you've dealt with that quite how we would have wished.
Of course, sir. I have a report for you, which will be prepared by the end of today, outlining everything that has happened while you've been away.
Can't wait to see it.
He nods and begins shuffling off.
While Remy's in the bath, he's going to roll himself a little cigarette of the Ujmani pipeweed.
Yep.
And he's going to toke up.
Oh, shit. All right. So, after a while...
He is mixing. He is also drinking moonshine.
Okay, yeah. Fucking hell. Okay. So after a while, you're going to be feeling the combined effects of coffee and cocaine, where it's like the biggest upper in the world. You also feel drunk, so you're super fucking up, but you can't walk straight. And so you're kind of, I imagine, just sort of walking in a circle trying to leave your room or something. But you may roleplay that as you see fit.
I can tell you have actually never done cocaine.
Oh, okay. I mean, in the interest post, I did say must have experience with cocaine, but that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Well, then I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed in all of us, sir.
Dan's on cocaine right now.
Oh.
Haven't you heard about fucking hypery sounds? Yeah.
I mean, this shit's on YouTube, Rob. Don't be putting our business on blast.
Right?
All 14 people are gonna call the police.
Yep.
Okay. So, as I said, you have this veritable feast laid out for you, and can eat yourself or eat until you burst, essentially. And after maybe half an hour or so, Hollister will reappear at the door, kind of signaling to Byron that he has people.
At this point, once Remy's gotten his fix, he's gonna head downstairs and just in his bathrobe, essentially.
Okay.
He does have his +1 daggers sort of on him,
but no one knows where. Sure. So, would you wish to go meet the people, or would you wish to get everyone to come with you? How would you want to play it?
Remy went upstairs with us coming back down. I presume I wouldn't have been able to get away from Helga, so I'm probably in the inn being fed with the others.
Yeah.
So if Hollister is like waiting and at a respectful distance, I'm not sure if I'm sharing a table with Rose and Elishan or Arthas or Willow, or if they've separated off or anything like that. But I can make mention to whoever is there. Would you like me to deal with the business, or would you like to be involved?
Are you saying that too? Sorry,
Rose or Elishan or whoever I'm sitting with.
And I imagine at this point then Remy's sort of coming down as well.
Yeah, Remy comes down looking very clean.
Hey guys, how's it going? How you doing? Yeah, we're going to talk to a guy. Sure, let's talk to a guy. Let's talk to everyone.
Do we need to insight?
I mean, that was me doing an impression. I'm sure Dylan can handle what Remy's really like on crazy uppers.
I mean, you can roll an insight check if you want.
Yeah, he's actually vibrating so much that he's a blur.
I haven't even cast haste. What is going on? I got 15.
15? Oh, well, he's not being deceptive. I mean, you could probably see that his pupils are very dilated and sort of darting around quite a bit.
Yeah. Byron knows.
But to be fair, him coming down in his bathrobe is not exactly a new business for us.
No, but him...
You're lucky he put the bathrobe on.
Exactly. It's like, Elishan might be all like, you might want to, tighten it a little tighter, but...
Why?
You're gapping a bit.
Feeling a little squeamish?
I mean, it's
I know it makes your boyfriend look like a little lady in comparison, but that's all right for your sake.
Arthas is just like chuckling, leaning back in his chair, as Helga's pretty much like force feeding him food because he's the only one who can keep eating.
Elishan just drinks her drink, like finishes whatever she was currently drinking, and then reaches for a refill.
She like moves the candle on the table just to position it to break her eye line. Yeah. So, who's all going with Byron then?
Raymond,
I
come
guess-
along.
Yeah, Rose will kind of shoot Willow an apologetic look and be like, can't let him be the only one that's handling business.
Handle business.
I suppose I should go too.
Arthas
mean-
nods and like he knows that there's no way Helga's gonna let him away, just because like she loves him because he can eat pretty much without stopping ever. And he just like, you know, he's basically trying to do the thing where he doesn't want to be like he doesn't want to be that kind of annoying, like overly, you know, like overbearing, wants to always spend time kind of person, because he doesn't want to scare her off and also make everyone else kind of get sick of him.
Do you have to go back, or can you stay? One more.
I can stay. It'll be fine.
Okay. Good. I'll catch
I'm
you
gonna
after then.
Stay here though, just for now.
All right.
If that's
She'll like smile, blush, and then like run to
Yeah.
the meeting.
And like none of you see this, but afterwards he's just damn it, because he was being all awkward. But Helga's probably giggling at him as she's like refilling his plate. So first, he'll lead you into the library, where you'll see two men standing waiting for you. The first one is he's probably 6'2", 6'3", kind of bulky, and they're both wearing this sort of matching leather armor, or like that's sleeveless, and it looks very sleek. And they're wearing these sort of leather banded kilts, sort of thing, that you imagine would give one very efficient, movement, and wouldn't weigh you down too much. They both just appear to have kind of short swords and daggers on them and that sort of thing, and they're standing with their arms crossed. The second one is a bit smaller, and the first one has this. He has hair that's shaved at the sides, but has like the sort of like Ford from the new season of Critical Role, like, top kind of buzz cut almost. The other one has this sort of dirty blonde hair that kind of hangs around his shoulders.
Tall one has the buzz cut.
Yeah, the tall one does.
Yeah.
Is it like the fringe hair in like the front of the face, or is it like the it's not a mullet because I shaved the sides completely?
No,
Like,
it's
long hair.
it's like a very military haircut. It's kind of all
Okay.
buzz cut with it slightly longer on top.
Okay. Okay.
Someone's got to be really good
Like
with
the
the
Vikings
shears to
haircut.
get that.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine magic was probably involved.
Like the Vikings haircut for like the lead blonde dude he's got like the shaved sides and it's like all long in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has a bow, kind of, or he's sort of leaning on it like a staff.
The smaller one has a bow.
The smaller one has a bow.
Okay.
And Hollister kind of enters and says, "These are Deimos and Marcus from the Plowshares. Deimos and Marcus, these are the owners of the keep." And he sort of like bows and kind of steps back slightly. I'll type the names in for you.
Byron like moves through the room past Craig and the rogues, and then like takes his seat, and the library, which really needs more seating at this point. But yeah, he like moves through very professionally and like takes his seat. And like puts both of his hands like together on the table in front of him and looks at them both and goes, "Thank you, gentlemen, for waiting."
The taller one, Deimos, inclines his head, says, "Our pleasure, sir. We understand that you are interested in a potential beneficial relationship with our organization."
I'm sure he. I don't know how the others have settled in, but I'm sure Byron can see like Aleshan's face, like disapproving or worrying
only
about
of
this.
only of Hollister. She's fine with the two rogues.
We're getting into bed with the Rogues Guild.
Yeah, I mean, her brother's in a rogues guild. So.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that, and there's putting our keep at risk by introducing criminal elements. But okay.
No, it's just Hollister she has a problem with.
He's creepy.
Yes, he
Um,
is. Yeah.
Yes.
So he'll just stand there. He'll kind of unfold his arms, and you see he has this natural confidence about him. Like you get the impression he's both like a talented, skilled operative, and like good at the physical stuff, but also is efficient and effective at or navigating his way through like social and political endeavors. He seems quite
Savvy.
at ease with himself. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Rob, did you ever decide if Octavius was a plowshare or if he was just a freelancer?
I mean, in classic Rob style, that's fucking up to you, man.
Meh. If he was a plowshare, Elishon doesn't know.
Yeah, I mean, plowshares are the biggest thieves guild in Lament, so it's likely that he would be, but there are probably others.
So he basically said, "I heard you wish to do business."
Yeah,
effectively. Byron would incline his head. We have the potential for quite the settlement here, and we wish to start these things off correctly.
I believe I understand what you're trying to say. We have been known to operate and set up organizations in many cities and settlements across the continent, and are very interested in helping you create a more prosperous and a well-serving society up here. But
What kind of business is you gonna run?
He grins, kind of turns to you and inclines his head. We are we're a thieves guild. We acquire objects that are occasionally not ours and are sometimes we have no right to, but we also do other missions, reconnaissance, corporate espionage, whatever we're paid to. We are contractors, you see. We don't just steal and sell. We steal and are paid for our services.
So you're a mercenary.
Yes, we are mercenaries, but we are mercenaries who specialize in subtlety.
Fair enough. What's to stop you from conducting your business not in our favor? Gaiad's got deep pockets.
That is true. We have a code. I'm sure this matters very little to you, as, well, he sort of smiles. Who can trust the word of a thief? But our code is this. Should we be granted asylum and allowed to conduct our business without inhibition from the government that we are operating under, we promise not to ever conduct business within the settlement that we are stationed.
Inside check.
Of course.
It was King Gaia that betrayed this trust of yours. I understand.
King
You
Gaia.
rec-
Oh yeah.
Recently
what?
had because you recently had your base of operations within his kingdom, I believe.
Yeah. Well, the main one's in Viros, but there was one in Berlin that got destroyed under King Gaia's rule. Yeah, but that's stuff you just know. What was your insight there?
That was 2 total.
This dude has definitely never lied to anyone in his entire life.
You know, you seem on the level. I like the guy. Yeah, I'll cut his jib.
No, thank you.
You won't be dealing in slaves, will you?
What does he say to what Elishon said? That wasn't
He says, yes, we lost several operatives and several key assets as a direct result of King Gaiad's actions, and as a result, he is, well, our organization is not the biggest fan of him, you might say. As to your question, he turns to Rose, there are several things we do not deal in. One of them is slaves. We also do not conduct war profiteering. That is to say, we will not supply weapons or arms to any country that is at war. However, we will not advance the warlike nature of man with our.
It will not benefit
skills.
from both sides.
Correct.
Of a conflict.
Correct.
From both sides or from either side? That is a distinction.
We prefer not to get involved if possible, but we will not benefit from both sides. I understand you're at war with King Gaiad.
Yes.
And if you need arms, we will supply them for you. We will not be dealing with King Gaiad again, though should he be deposed, we're not staying out of Bellern, merely out of his reign. You understand?
Makes sense. Can I insight check him on that?
You can.
That's going to be a non-natural 20.
Okay. So a combination of his demeanor and what you know about the plowshares is like, or from his demeanor, you don't think he's lying. And what you know about the plowshares is that they do have this very strict sort of code of honor kind of thing, and very strict rules, which is why they've been so successful, is because they don't let themselves get greedy and they don't just take contracts without thinking. So you reckon he's probably being forthright and honest with you.
And all you want from us is to stay out of your affairs?
Correct. We would build a small headquarters here, create a front, and base several operations out of it. In return, you will receive a handsome consideration, as well as, you can be sure that the plowshares will not conduct any business within the keep.
What about assassinations? Do you deal in blood work, as it were?
We ourselves do not deal in wet work, as we call it. However, we have contacts and we can help broker transactions of that nature. However,
No, that's all right. Just didn't want to making sure we, insight check though.
Yeah, sure. Man,
that will be a 19 on the dice plus 10 for 29.
yeah, they don't assassinate people, and he hasn't lied.
Cool.
This consideration you mentioned, is this a ongoing percentage of your operations, or some sort of lump
He
sum?
grins, and you see he's got a gold tooth kind of off center, and he says, "Of course, the consideration we treat as a tax. You understand? It is, well, for the most part, is an annual sum, a percentage of our yearly earnings, That is your payment for allowing us to continue our operations.
Very well.
And is that gross or net earnings?
We taxing us or?
Did you go to business school?
Jesus.
Her dad's a merchant, so
Yeah.
or
You'd say-
But
pretends to be a merchant.
He would say it is a gross figure. In other words, we give you a percentage of all our acquisitions from that year before removing our expenses.
Alishon does feel a little dirty asking that question, though.
Good to know. Are there any other questions you wish to ask of me?
Is it just profits that you're making from working out of here, or all of Lament?
Out of here,
So, okay.
each place or each city that we base in is paid similarly. However, it is not based on necessarily local operations, but rather local operatives. You see, once we're set up, we'll move in maybe 10 to 20 operatives who will base themselves out of here, using this as a place to lay low and as a place to receive new contracts and information and a place to live. As a result, any coin that they make is pooled here. You will receive a percentage of that. And then
What's
we
the
move on.
percentage?
Well, that is another reason for my being here. What would you say is a fair percentage?
50.
You see him, if you say 50, you see him sort of like, he kind of sighs and does like a smile that sort of gives the impression of like, I would explode and call this guy an idiot, but that is not correct for this kind of situation. So he just kind of smiles and narrows his eyes slightly and waits for someone else to say something.
What is the usual percentage?
Usual percentages between 10 and 13%. There are several places. Sure.
24.
Sounds reasonable. Sounds honest.
Okay.
Well, considering that we don't know what you're going to be doing exactly, you're basically paying us for our ignorance. I'd say a higher percentage is worth it.
Are we expected to provide your operatives any sort of cover if lawmakers or
you are
whatever
expected to pretend we do not exist, i.e., any troubles with law enforcement that are not under your control?
We can just disavow any knowledge of your dealings.
Correct. We do not exist. You will be expected to inform your own law enforcement, however, that they are not to. They're to leave us be.
But since you won't be operating within our territory, that shouldn't be a problem.
Should not be a problem, though. The occasional mishap may happen. That is the nature of our business.
So basically, our guards and our law enforcement shouldn't be, searching for contraband.
Correct.
From certain individuals.
And they should have no reason to ever suspect or to call into question our actions. It will be as though we are mere citizens.
Seems like you're asking a lot from us. We already got a lot of money.
In fact, I'm actually asking nothing of you.
Well,
that is all I need.
That's a pretty ignorant statement.
We're expected to give them land and room to work, and not much else.
All.
And to not raise any questions when things go wrong, as he says.
Well,
ask
hopefully
people
nothing will go wrong.
An honor to leave things. Well, you already caging your bets for that possibility.
Yeah, there is always a possibility. However, I will say that there are additional benefits to working with us. As I already mentioned,
we are not expected to provide them any protections if they get caught from an outside party. If somebody comes across our borders and, waylays your base of operations, we're not expected to step in and help?
Nope.
If things get to that bad for you guys, that's
We are an
all on you?
independent organization, and we have our own means and methods for dealing with issues.
As long as none of those means harm any of ours.
But we
Do
have
not-
no checks on that. We have no way to verify that.
Well, that brings me to my question, Remy. If this arrangement should no longer prove to be beneficial to either party, is there a way for us to end it?
Well, of course, you could just raid our base of operations. However, that would put you in
I don't think that's what she means.
poor
No,
standing.
I mean, is there a way for us to simply ask for a meeting and say, you know what, this is no longer beneficial for us?
She wants to know if we can part amicably.
I understand. There is. We have parted amicably in the past. However, if you wish to part with us, we can no longer give you the same guarantees of, say, not operating within
I don't believe
within your walls.
that would not be right of us to expect that kind of.
He inclines his head. We are a business. We may deal in fairly underworld and underground operations, but we have a reputation to maintain. You see, if we lied constantly to those in charge of the places in which we base ourselves, then we would find it extremely difficult to find new places to base ourselves and new places to set up operations. As a result, we have our strict set of rules and we adhere to them because it improves and benefits the organization as a whole.
Well, I feel this could be beneficial if we could agree to terms.
He nods.
Say 15%?
He sort of sucks his teeth, kind of scratches the back of his neck. 15% is on the higher end of what we could offer.
What's your counter then?
13%. You see his sort of grin as he says that.
I don't understand why we're negotiating with these people. We have something they want.
They also don't exactly. They may want a new base of operations and they may want to be located near Bellerne so that they can operate within that country, but we aren't the only place that they can turn.
In addition, there are other benefits to working with us. For example, having us within your city gives you a direct line to our services, and we can provide reconnaissance and aid in, say, times of war.
Explain that exactly. If we were, as you know, of our mishaps with King Gaiad, it seems. What exactly is your organization prepared to provide in that respect?
Well, say, for example, you were interested in information about the workings of his army or the feelings of his and the feelings towards him in the city. Say you wish to know about really anything under him. We have ways of finding out.
Espionage and sabotage?
Espionage is something we do a lot. Sabotage is a little bit more specialized and is something we could offer, but the price would not be cheap.
Are these recon and espionage type dealings, are those also for a negotiated price as well per contract?
Everything is for negotiation. The way a standard contract works, however, is you would provide details of what you desire and a price you're willing to pay. then if someone wishes to do that work for that amount of money, they will. But we can advise you as to an appropriate amount of money. And, of course, Hollister has had a great many dealings with our people. And, well, he is very much able to navigate any dealings you wish to have with us, should you not wish to meet us in person.
Byron, you've been awfully quiet. Have you any thoughts on the matter? Or perhaps should we discuss this in private?
No, I've just been mulling it over. So, we need to come to some sort of conclusion on your taxes. 15%, 13%. That is one discussion. The next discussion is how you can serve us in the short term in our conflict with Gaiad, which is, well, his decision and not ours. I'm sure Hollister has informed you, but here's both of our problems.
He nods.
And also a problem to his people, who some of have already come to our side. I think in the short term, we should be able to negotiate as part of this package that you aid us with at the very minimum this reconnaissance. I'm sure you have ways in and out of the city that would become useful.
Yeah.
But as you discussed, you don't wish to supply weapons. We wouldn't ask that of you. What I think is in both of our best interests is a quick and efficient solution to this problem, which your agents and your familiarity of that city will be able to provide. This is a dangerous land. I'm sure you're aware. There are areas that you probably would wish your men, or be best to advise your men not to go, native populations and monsters and the like. Would you be conducting business solely within the realms of our expanding city here? Or would you, and if you were to conduct in the Balloon countryside, that's not an issue for us, but do you have any interest in this land?
Our organization tends to have little interest in places outside of cities. You see, most people with money live in cities, and most operations take place within cities. We have been known to do a few contracts based in the countryside, however, they are very rare.
Very well. For your own safety, and the safety of your men, and this is not a threat, I would generally stick to those principles. We've run into quite enough trouble in these locales.
He nods.
The next I would like to discuss is, I'm sure you of all gentlemen know about discretion.
He smiles slightly, yeah.
The war effort is to be discreet, and our dealings here are to be discreet. The keep as it stands now will be but a staging point for a larger occupation of this area, and you can get involved as you may wish with the community. Like you said, you promised not to operate, but I would be keen on a disclosure clause that you would not discuss the affairs that we encounter here in this keep.
As a general rule, we do not write contracts because contracts can be found and can be stolen. However, we are willing to write a contract if it will give you peace of mind. As you can probably imagine, discretion is of high importance to us, and we would never discuss operations with outsiders and, honestly, many people even within our organization. You have nothing to worry about, though. I would understand wishing to get that in writing. And we can accommodate that.
If you think writing would help with your men, very well, but
Honestly, it will have no effect on us. We will not discuss it either way. But if it makes you feel safer in the knowledge, then we are willing to do this. We wish to begin our relationship in an amicable way and prove to you that we are willing to stick to our word wholeheartedly.
I have always found that actions speak louder than words.
He inclines his head. Most apt.
Is there something your people would be willing to do to prove your loyalty?
He kind of folds his arms.
Remy pulls out his dick.
God damn it.
Just kidding.
Doesn't phase him.
Just kidding.
He folds his arms and kind of, you see like I'm interested sort of smile. And he says, well, of course, we've brought a small monetary consideration but I understand that is
Again,
of little
not
importance
action.
to what we're talking about.
There is a concern of ours, I believe, that all of us share, and that was how quickly Gaiad was able to move against us. From our intelligence, it seems it is a sort of drug that he provides his men. Is there
Indeed.
any way your men can disrupt that supply so that it cannot be used against us in the future?
You see his head kind of lean back slightly, thinking about it. An interesting proposition. He kind of turns and whispers to his colleague. He turns back and he says, well, what we know about this drug is that Gaiad makes it in-house. And so disrupting his supply of it would be difficult. However, it needs raw materials and ingredients. And one such ingredient he buys exclusively from Viros. It is a kind of spice that is rendered in a plant there. And, well, should you agree to all the terms we've laid out, a pro bono contract in which the disruption of that spice is a factor could definitely be something we'd be able to help you with.
Elishan looks at the others to see if that is agreeable.
And just for clarity, that is in lieu of payment.
It is
Oh.
In lieu of contracts and in lieu of any sort of other symbolic gesture of their goodwill, Remy. It is not part of the monetary agreement we'll be going into.
We're happy to
Oh,
work
Elishan
out the
feels so
details of the
weird
monetary.
talking about this kind of stuff.
I think that and 15% sounds good.
You see him kind of scratch his nose.
That and 13 would be agreeable for all parties involved, perhaps?
I mean, why don't we split the difference and go 14? I'm kidding.
We're talking
14 would be agreeable for us.
14.
Okay, maybe not as kidding as much as I originally was.
Well, I totally meant to say that.
That's what I assumed you'd say.
I mean, then we'd be like 13 and a half.
I'm trying to go high so that you guys can meet in the middle.
Literally, yeah, his whole reason for saying 13 was to make you guys say 14. Like, he's like, I've been allowed to go up to 14, so if I say 13, they'll automatically go for 14 because it's in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
He forgot he was dealing with you, motherfuckers.
I would be curious in a dossier of the current standing of Bellerne. I believe that benefits both of us.
That is definitely something we can provide you with.
Good. And the discretion of our activities here, I think that is all we need.
If that is something you'd like in writing, we can also prepare that. But it is guaranteed with our operations. whether
We just
written or not.
Insight check.
Byron's not going to insight. Byron's just going to say, if it is not, and I find out, there will be repercussions. And he
Okay.
doesn't say that like angrily. He just says it matter of factly.
Yeah, and he similarly matter of factly says, "I'd expect nothing less."
28.
He's a fucking thieves guild. They're not gonna blab.
Yeah.
Are we disrupting the spice or not?
That is something we can do.
I think that would be a worthwhile gesture.
Very well. He reaches, like, holds out a hand behind him, and the blonde-haired man pulls a folded piece of paper and hands it to him, and opens it, and you see that it looks like a contract template, and he begins writing down. You see, there's no name, but he writes his own name in the kind of dead drop slot, and the gold value is 0. And he writes out like basic, kind of the basic outline of what the contract is. And he says, "This is prepared. If you give us a few weeks, or 2 weeks, we can begin moving ourselves up here. I have 15 men currently selected, well, men and women currently selected, who are going to be working here if all the terms are agreeable."
Do we need to provide accommodations for anyone? While you arrange for your base to be built?
No. We're entirely independent. You merely must indicate the space we have to work with, and we can deal with it.
I turn to Craig. Does a 2-week window suit your first wave of colonists? Can they blend into that?
He sort of smiles and says, "Of course, sir." And you get the distinct impression that he's like, "Maybe not, but colonists will be coming up in 2 weeks because you asked me to," like he's going to sort it out so that it does make sense.
He has had we've traveled for a week and we already had him for a week or something preparing, so that would be a month after. I think roughly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We've had Craig for only a few days before we left, right? I thought.
I like the day before we left.
Yeah.
Maybe day and a half.
He moves very quickly.
He said that he moves quickly, but we've come back to an empty keep. So
yeah, but it's like a week walk to Belen. What are you fucking expecting?
He moves quickly. The colonists do not.
Yeah, Craig can jump about. He's a fast man. He can be anywhere. But no, he is everywhere. But yeah, and he's efficient, but he can't make people walk faster necessarily.
He ain't gonna waste his favors on fucking colonists who are just gonna be like, "Oh, I gotta, you gotta teleport my donkey."
Yeah.
Well, now we have a very fast way to teleport or move a boat full of people at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, so Deimos would say, no, as for the space we'll need, we'll require a fairly small space generally, though we prefer to have 2 stories, and we'll be digging down beneath it to create an underground hiding place or he wouldn't say hiding place, he'd say an underground shelter for our operatives.
So there's all kinds of buildings between like the walls of the keep and further out in the city that need to get built up, right?
Yeah, there's like a lot of ruined old buildings that were in the keep, basically.
So if they make their way up here with the colonists, they can build themselves whatever they want.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, is like, you just need to point out where we get and make sure no one else goes there, and that's it.
Do they want to be inside the keep walls, or would they prefer to be outside?
They prefer to be inside, definitely.
Inside the keep?
Do we want
merely
them inside
because
the keep?
Well, merely because there's no outside really at this point.
I mean, we have
Like,
walls.
There's a couple
Yeah,
of buildings.
Well,
Yeah.
we're building like the outside walls.
Yeah.
That was like
So
something
like
that was.
the keep basically has space. I can't remember exactly, but it's like maybe 7 or 8 actual buildings. One of them is the tavern, one of them is the blacksmith, and then you've just got all this other like ruined slots where buildings would go. Right?
I thought we
Sure.
built some of that up for like workers' quarters and things
Right.
like that.
Like so, some of it's
Well-
being built up, but I think the workers' quarters are actually outside the walls.
I can't remember where our outside walls are, but we've built a fair segment, but it's not a complete circle, so it's
No.
not
The
defensible.
Temple of
Yeah.
Lathander is outside the walls. Outside the
Yes,
keep.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's in place, I guess, for the community to come.
Right.
Um,
So like yeah, most of the builders are focusing on the outer wall at this point,
yeah,
so that actual building can be done kind of safely inside.
But
Right.
we can always divert some of those builders for them to start building their base.
Definitely, but the plowshares said that they
Yeah.
don't need you to build it for them.
we need
Okay.
the outer walls.
Okay.
Yeah, we
You
do.
know, I also don't like the idea of them in the keep, but Byron will say you can have temporary accommodations within our walls. Same with the first wave of colonists, but we do look to expand outside, and I presume
Yes,
that
we're perfectly
welcome
happy
to you.
to base ourselves outside. Though we hope that defensibility is improved with the building of the wall that continues.
Yes,
So it should be done within a few months, right, Byron?
I was going to speak to Craig about speeding that up. We weren't at war when we started building that wall, so
We need more builders.
yes,
I
we
do.
have the funds,
Yes.
How much money do we have?
like 10 grand.
So much money.
But we have a lot of buildings to build, and we weren't at war before, so we didn't have it like a time limit. But
Right
no
now
pressure.
we have 13,000 gold
Yeah, and there's more coming.
and 15% of their income whenever they decide to pay us that. So-
Well, and
Well,
the
they
thing
need
is,
to be
like we have the
operating, yes.
materials for. We just have to
Yeah.
hire more workers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. Right.
Do we have a place to store all this gold? Is it just sitting in a bag of holding?
I mean, the keep has space, but yeah, I imagine it's. I mean, bag
we
of
have
holding
2 bag of holdings
around your neck is probably the safest place to keep it, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I assume like Craig has like a portion of that kind of in a chest that he uses to like pay the workers.
He's got his mad money.
Right, like he's got a portion of it to actually work for you without you guys like having to come and be like, need a gold for that worker, you know, like he can sort of
Yeah.
organize it himself.
Because we've paid the builders that we have and the guards we have in advance for the work that they're going to do. So
Right.
if we need to speed up or add to any of that, we just need to
Yeah.
pay that out.
And so he'll also say, I hope this kind of I hope this deal is agreeable to everyone. The only thing would be any of your guards should know that a plowshare is someone with a tattoo of the sun on their left wrist. And anyone with that tattoo, as per our agreement, should be left to their own devices.
On the left wrist, you said?
On the left wrist, unless they are openly committing a crime, in which case they are breaking the laws of, or they're breaking our rules, in which case they are on their own.
So if they murder someone within our city,
Then they have broken our own rules as per our agreement, because we told you that we would not conduct business within the walls. If they murder someone within your city, then they are no longer a plowshare and will have, well, as per our rules, will have their hand removed and are at the mercy of the population.
very well.
Good to know.
I think for now that deal can stand.
Very well. He'll hold out a hand to, I guess, to Byron first, but he'd go around to shake with all of you.
I like
Okay.
stand flicking out the tails of my coat and shake
Yeah.
his hand.
And so he'd say, yeah, if you could just show me the space that you have, or show me the area in which we can build, then Marcus and I will be off, and we'll begin preparing to move our operations up here.
Of course.
The one final thing is, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a monetary agreement, or we do have a monetary addition to the agreement to ensure a prosperous and thoughtful relationship. And you see, like, from behind the table, Marcus picks up like a small chest, and kind of puts it onto the table and opens it, and you see it's filled with platinum bars.
Oh. Can I work out the rough estimation, or do I have to ask?
I mean, Byron can probably work it out by the area of the chest and like
how the thickness of the bars.
Yeah, there are 25 bars. Each is worth about 15 platinum, or each is like the consistency of 15 platinum. So I don't know how much that is. 25 times 15 platinum.
I'll figure out the gold later.
Yeah, cool. Okay,
then
375 platinum basically. Like over 3 grand, 3.75 grand or something, right? In gold, I don't know. Yeah.
And this is in addition to the
Yeah, that's like this is an advance. This is, like,
she's asking for confirmation.
Oh, he would say, this is an advance. This is merely a fruitful beginning to our relationship. Of course, you'll still receive your due payment from this year.
No. The disruption of the drug.
Oh, yes. Contract is filled. It is now active and will be dealt with, and you'll receive confirmation.
Good.
Thank you. We'll return downstairs and purchase a drink and allow you to talk about this, and then when you're ready to show us where we can build, we'll be off.
We throw a dart at a map somewhere outside the keep.
You can have this whole city real far up north. You just go through the crazy forest.
Wait, no, that's the worst idea ever.
No. I kind of assume that Rose won't want them near the temple, so like, a respectable distance away from the temple.
So maybe on the opposite side.
Maybe they would want to be near the outer walls so that they could slip in and out of our outer defenses.
I feel like because of how it's being built, they would probably want to like build it against, or I actually think they want to build it like right next to the inner wall.
Oh, either they want to be right next to our keep, or they want to be right out.
I think they want to be nearer in, just because then they can sort of like have dealings with you easier.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Perhaps where the outer wall joins the inner wall or something.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll say you give them a fair space and they're happy with it. And then they just leave unless you have anything else to talk to them about.
He said so. Yeah, he says if you can show us the plot and everything. And Byron just like waves his hand over the table and uses minor illusion and a minor model of the keep and its surrounding lands and the ruins are on the table. And then I can.
He does the geosid. He does the Google Maps.
Yeah, the swiping thing, and awesome. Like points. Is this location adequate?
I believe so.
Excellent, gentlemen.
And they'll go outside and they'll begin like sketching it.
Not near the walls near our mine though, right? It's on the opposite.
No, yeah, I imagine the mine is sort of kind of hidden and off to one side.
Yeah, Byron would take into the fact they want to dig down and that they will put them at adequate space away from the mines.
Yeah. Perhaps up on a hill.
They'll go and like sketch the kind of area that they've been allocated, and then they'll just leave.
Yeah,
And you see
maybe.
that they just start jogging, like when they leave. They don't walk, they jog. They
Uh,
just run back to Viros.
it's a long way.
Yeah. They're fucking like Uruk-hai.
Okay. I mean, it's late. Byron was going
Yeah, they'll just go.
Okay.
I thought they said they were gonna go get a drink and eat.
Well, they did, but
stuff.
then they were
Byron
basically being like, all right, you can kind of discuss where you want us to go. And then you were just like, nah, you can go here. And they were like, oh, okay, well, then we'll just be off.
Cool then. Cool.
Yeah. You get the impression these people never waste time. Right? Like, they'll only say go for a drink when they're waiting for something. Right? Like, they're not up for wasting time. Spending time not making a profit. And Hollister will kind of return as they leave. Excellent. Now, the only other thing, as I, is the the ice pirate fellow. He is here. Would
Wait,
you
what
like me
the-
to show him in?
Ice pirate?
Yeah,
Does
what
that
are we
mean-
talking about?
Does he pirate ice?
Oh, my
or-
apologies. I thought Byron had told you. I apologize.
No. What is an
He
ice
is
pirate?
someone who arrived a few days after you left. I believe his name is Forkin. And he says he was an ice pirate up north. I haven't inquired as to his purpose here, but I felt I'd leave that for you.
Before you go, Hollister, has there been any word from Geralt Tegwin?
There has not, but I do not believe it has been long enough time to reach him yet.
All right, keep me posted.
I would expect something within a week.
Fair enough.
Is that Forkin?
It is.
Okay.
He ain't forking around.
Right. Yeah, so he'll sort of
Wait, so is ice pirate a well-known term?
no.
Okay.
Um,
Do I have a sense that this is someone who like pirates around icebergs, or is this somebody
you heard
that...
what you heard.
Okay.
I'm sure
You
you
know.
can go visit him.
Yeah.
like, in
So
the next
he'll
scene.
show him into the library.
Oh right.
And so you see
We're holding audiences and shit like real folk.
We need a fucking throne room. I mean,
you'll see
Me.
you'll see a man walk in kind of after the doors open. He's quite tall. He's probably 6'3", 6'4", and he has this kind of long, just crazy black hair, and it's kind of to his shoulders and just looks unkempt and kind of matted. He's got this really big, thick beard as well. He's got a ring through his nose, and like covered in scars. You see his hands are huge in comparison to the rest of his body. They're just massive hands, and he's extremely muscular. He's wearing this weird, like, it's like leather, but it's kind of a waistcoat almost, but it's like armored waistcoat, but he leaves it open at the front, so it's kind of pointless. He has like ropes tied sort of around like a belt, and he has like hooks and a compact fishing line, and all this stuff just hanging off his belt. He has this huge scimitar hanging from him, daggers, and he's wearing flip-flops or sandals. And
You are just the craziest looking motherfucker I've ever seen.
This is okay. So you said like big, bushy, like crazy long black hair with a thick beard, and so my head is going checks. And so now you describing him in sandals has not dissuaded that at all.
No, because Chex wears white socks with his Jesus sandals. But yeah, this guy's kind of Chex, but he's much more wild. Like Chex has hair that sort of like hugs his face, like it kind of it's kind of stays in close, whereas his hair looks like a mane, like a lion. His beard is sort of, he doesn't comb it, so it kind of just points outwards, right?
I am with you 100%.
And yeah, he's wearing this kind of kilt. that has like hooks, like hooked into
He
it.
better have an outrageous Scottish accent.
He does not.
Nah.
So the
afraid.
plowshares wore kilts as well, you said? Banded kilts?
They wore like I said kilts. It wasn't really. It's like Greek battle skirts, right? Like, you know,
Oh,
like
okay,
what I might wear. Whereas this guy's wearing like just an actual kilt.
So you've got the Grecian kilt versus the Scottish kilt right now.
Right.
So
But
which
his
is-
isn't tartan. It's just like
Okay.
a sort of deep green.
Gotcha.
It's covered in like fishing hooks and that sort of thing.
I am with you 100%.
Good. So he walks in and you say that he's weird looking, and he's
No,
like,
I don't.
oh, Remy,
Remy did.
I said he was the craziest looking motherfucker I've ever seen.
yeah,
Gotcha.
Oh, mate, so you too.
Say what?
One more time.
Mate, so you too.
Uh-huh.
I think he said you too.
I thought
I
it looked pretty nice in my hair and everything.
I mean,
What the hell do you want?
you are wearing a bathrobe, Remy.
And what? Oh, shit.
What do I want? That's a good question. I don't really know. What do you want?
I would like you to tell me why you are here.
My name's Falcon Glow, mate.
Right, and Hollister or Mr. Craig tells us that you're an ice pirate.
Yep, ice pirate, 5 years.
What exactly does that mean?
Well, you know, like a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
A nice one.
Is Glor his last name,
Yeah.
Rob, that you just put in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Falcon Glow.
Fucking Glor.
So you steal ice, or you sail around on the ice? How's that work?
Yeah, it's a nice pirate. You know, a nice pirate. Like a pirate in the ice.
Clearly, we
Not-
don't know.
Not a lot of not a whole lot of sea around here. So what are you
Good
doing
point.
here? Exactly.
Well, I was a pirate on an ice vessel. And we did some pirating, and then I got bored, so I went on shore and I just walked, and then I found here. What about you?
Well, we got bored and we were walking and we just decided to stop here.
Oh, so
And then we took over, and now we
Yeah.
run the place.
oh, you run a place. That's very nice. He just stands there looking at you.
Do you wish to stay here? I mean,
Don't I?
Are we being pranked by Hollister right now? She says to Rose.
I honestly don't know.
You wouldn't be able to hear it, but Hollister's just giggling on the other side of the door, like listening. But you wouldn't know that because he's clearly good at laughing in silence.
My past perception's like crazy.
Yeah, but the door's closed and he's silent. So. Fuck you.
Okay.
Byron leans forward. What is your intention and purpose here? Is it shelter, food, employment?
Well, like a bit of food.
Sounds like you've had some.
He nods. Yep, had some Skypers. And, well, I don't have a job anymore because I'm not an ice pirate anymore, so if you need me to do something, I'll do it.
What skill set does an ice pirate have?
Much the same much the same skill set as a pirate, but I don't really get cold.
You know, all my instincts are screaming we should get this guy the fuck out of here, but I'm trying to be nice, so I'm going to let you guys handle this one.
Thanks, that was very kind of you.
Shut the fuck up.
Can I insight check the crazy gibbering? Like, is this a front or
Sure, inside check it.
insight check? That's a 12 on the die plus 10 for 22.
He speaks like common is his second language, but you have no idea what his first language could be. You also reckon that you don't think he's being like obtuse or anything on purpose. You just think he's probably a little bit of a weirdo and doesn't really get people. But I mean, he looks strong and you know.
Where are you from originally?
South.
How far south?
10.
10 what? 10 days? 10 months? Are you from a shire? Are you
He
from a
looks really
small
confused.
country name? Do you have a country name?
The sea?
You were born on the sea?
This is my second time on land.
Were you born on the sea?
I was born on the sea.
Were you born in the sea or on a boat?
He like nods, like, good question. Both. I was
Are
born
you
on a boat as it was sinking. I was sinking into the sea. And then it's a good story.
why don't you tell the story?
Well, I was on a boat
Uh huh.
in my mum,
Uh huh.
and it was sinking,
Uh huh.
and then I was born.
Yep.
That's the story.
You didn't drown.
No,
Why not? Someone save you?
my mum could swim. He looks at you like, come on, that's obvious.
When was the other time you were on land?
Well, he sort of like looks a bit flustered, like, well, I just went on land.
So you've been on a boat all your life, and now you wish to.
Well, not all my life, because clearly I've been on land twice.
Most of your life, you've been on
Yeah.
a boat?
All right. Well, you seem like a very interesting person. Can you build stuff? You good with a hammer?
Do I sense any chaos off of this
He
guy?
shrugs. No, he's no chaos.
Okay.
He shrugs like, yeah, sure, I'm good with hammer.
Did I sense any chaos off the plowshares?
No.
Okay.
All right. Unless anybody objects, you can have a house if you build it yourself. You feed yourself. You work for yourself, and you don't bother us.
All right.
We were just saying we needed to hire more workers.
Yeah, I'll build stuff for you. I'm a good builder, innit?
I mean, I don't imagine you know much about building walls, but if you're good with a hammer, you can learn.
Walls is the same as a ship.
Yep. Build it up strong so it doesn't knock over
He
or
nods.
fall over.
You know what? I'll let the workers train him.
All right. You just stand around here and say nothing a lot. Because you know,
What would you like from us then,
I don't know.
Porkin? You don't know?
I don't know. You're just looking at me. It's kind of confusing, you know?
I mean, we could send you on your fucking way.
All right.
I mean, we're offering you a job.
I'll take it. I told you that.
All right. Or, I mean, get you
Why don't
quarters.
you go get some dinner and some accommodations?
Yeah. She makes good Skypers, and he just walks off.
Honestly, I don't know how we keep attracting these people.
I love, Dylan, I love that you took your glasses off. Like, God damn it. And like, that's the mood Remy's in, except he doesn't wear glasses.
Yeah, no, he's doing the old like this thing. You know?
Yeah.
When you said I don't know how you keep track of these people, like Byron just taps his temple at you.
What?
We keep conducting business in our bathrobes, and I'm sure this is who we're going to attract.
Well, I wasn't expecting to do business. I was.
No, I think it should be our official look.
You hear Forkin's voice like coming up through the library window, and he's just like talking to everyone like he's known them all his life. You know, he's just asking people what they're up to, and telling them about how he walked here and that sort of thing.
Are they responding like nice crazy man, or is it like he's been around
Yeah.
here for a few days? And
Like, they're still like he's been here for a couple days, so they probably like understand. It's like, all right, you know, you weird man, but they're not like afraid of him, but they're like, you know, like, oh god, here he comes.
See, while we were dealing with Bajored and the vendor lord, everyone else around the keep was dealing with this guy, and I think we got the better end of the bargain.
he ate dirt, L.
But he also had a really cute badger.
Has Hollister excused himself and left, or is he hovering?
No, he's hovering.
Thank you, Hollister.
He
I
inclines
think
his
that
head.
might be all.
Very well,
Unless-
so I'll finish that report for you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Scuttles away.
And when he's left, Byron like pulls out the bag of holding or something. I took a few choice texts from the library, ones that looked intriguing, and he pushes across a large, ominous book that makes you feel uneasy for some reason. I have no idea how many are like this, but this appears to be some sort of tome or diary of a necromancer. It could be what Alashan thought Ammon was after, or there could be worse things.
Speaking of, Amon, one of the books that I found, and she similarly pulls out a black book with fading leather. Excuse me. This one actually mentions that the Brotherhood of the Last Flame had been in Orthil before, and it looks like they were looking for a book.
Is that a book you got from the library?
Yes.
Then I'm just gonna. How can you read it?
The books I've gotten from Barris or Oleran, he had some translation.
Yeah, I told her that she could like work on translating them. It's like it takes her ages to read a book, like a couple,
Right.
but or you know, but she can like translate it slowly. Yeah. So Dylan Barris Olaran is like he's an explorer, and he's also the NPC or the character I played in Emerald. But I was like, fuck it, he's in this, and he's not going to be betrayed, and he's going to be a good dude who goes around reading books and shit.
Okay.
So yeah,
he turned him into an explorer. Yeah.
There's a few books written by him because I just really like the name.
It's a good name.
Thanks, sir. Anyway, and back into
So,
What did he say? Barris Alaran?
Yeah.
Said who?
Well,
It
this
was
book
Naruto?
was written by an Henrox Hagerholm. Crazy names, but it speaks of a plague that was beneath the city with maggots and all sorts of things. So really, if I had the time to translate this before we went down into the basement, I suppose it wouldn't have been a huge surprise that we had found Guraden down there. But there was a plague, and the Brotherhood of the Last Flame came to rid the city of the plague using fire magics. They cleansed the city of the infection and went below the library, and basically in exchange for clearing this plague, they asked for access to the library as they searched for a book that was supposedly kept there. They didn't find what they wanted and killed many of Orathalians before they ousted them, basically. But it seems like they Brotherhood had already searched the library, perhaps, but it definitely seems like they were looking for a book of some sort.
If that was written by an Orithilian. That was 800 odd years ago. This order still exists now and is still trying to get to that city. Did they think they missed something?
The 21st Swords Day of the 9th Sag Hair. So by my calculations of the Orithilian calendar, that's what, Rob?
Oh, fuck knows. You can't just spring that shit on me.
Well, I mean, you wrote it.
Yeah, I wrote it ages ago. I don't know.
But this was a book from the library, which means
Yes.
it couldn't have been current. It couldn't have been current within
no,
like
it's,
the
it's
last
definitely a few
800
hundred years old. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's and they said they didn't find what they were looking for.
And turned against the city when they
Yes.
couldn't find it.
But now we think that, the reason we went there was that we thought that these flame cultists and Ammon were looking for something useful there.
Yes.
But they already didn't find it 800 years ago.
Supposedly. I have a few other tomes that I haven't quite finished translating yet. I'm sorry, I've been a bit distracted. But at least this one I managed. But they're looking for a book. At least according to this. They were looking for a book.
I mean, either they couldn't find it within the collection or it's not there.
Exactly. I mean, we can't eliminate the possibility that they just didn't have a chance to find it.
What could have been hidden from them, perhaps?
Mm-hmm. I mean, there were several magical tomes there, from what I remember. Perhaps there was something that would manage to keep itself hidden from the Brotherhood some way, or, perhaps it was a book that was somewhere else. I mean, do we know about Byron's do we know about Byron's Encridian?
Encridian? No, that's up to Dan. I assume so.
Why? What? How do you want to bring that in?
I was just wondering, do we know about it other than like you set Remy on fire a couple of times?
Sure. Over the months or whatever, I'm sure you will have seen it.
I mean, it's possible it could be that book, do you think? I mean, it seems a likely suspect for a book. I mean, I'm sure there might be other magical tomes that would be greatly useful, but maybe they didn't find it there in Orithil because it was here at the keep. And maybe Amon didn't know that you had found it the first day we were here. Because it was chance that you found it, right? In the basement?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember that.
It was. Yeah, you just found
Remy
it like
found
mine.
Ammon's already been there for so long.
You found the book, the Encridian.
Enchiridion.
Yeah, Enchiridian. Sorry.
Yes, I'm aware I found the book. I can't remember the circumstances.
Yeah, it was in the basement.
Yeah, I remember that much, but... So, you believe the book that they were after all this time, Ammon happened to be sitting on top of?
I mean, it's possible. It seems like it might be a bit too convenient, but he was here. And his map, whenever we researched it, Rob, you said that if you attuned to it, whatever you were searching for would show up on the map. Is that how you explained it?
I can't remember. I don't know if it was that. But
well, then,
it was
how
something
was
along
it?
those lines. I don't fucking know. Let me check my notes.
You need like a searchable index with all this shit.
Yeah, it's a nightmare keeping track of all the bullshit I spout at you guys, Let me see.
make mention of it because I have now used the spell.
Yeah.
I suppose on the downtime we can. Perhaps it will unlock itself further. I can't remember how it was meant to work, to be honest.
I think from memory, it was like it would show you where you are on the map or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of like an actual use or like kind of a GPS sort of thing.
Right. 'Cause he hasn't changed it from like Amon's favorited settings or whatever.
Yeah.
He wants to keep whatever he was looking for marked on the map, and it was kind of in like the Orithilian direction, right? Or was it further north?
No, yeah, it was Orithil that was marked on the map.
Okay, so he definitely wanted to find something in Orithil, but according to this book, the Brotherhood of the Last Flame had already been there at some point looking
Yeah.
for a book. So it might not be a book that they're looking for now, but they were looking for a book then. Maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know, I can't find it, but I'm pretty sure it works like a GPS sort of thing.
I mean, is it possible that this goddess Arame sensed the Brotherhood's true intention and hid this book or knowledge from them?
Potentially, there could be a shrouded area of the library or some secret alcove. It was quite large, obviously, and we didn't have time to search every inch.
Well, did you find your book before or after we killed her?
Mine, but the necromancy.
Yes.
I just
Mine was definitely after.
I didn't get a chance to read. Probably after. But I just pulled it off a shelf. There was nothing particularly special of this receptacle or anything that it was within. As I say, I don't think it is like a tome of dark magic. It appears to be some sort of journal of a necromancer.
And some other, the other individuals we ran into in the city proper were looking for tomes about necromancy, correct? Or we assume?
Well, they
They were
said
looking for anything they could sell.
yes. Englehart was looking for anything he could sell. I think Braith was, according to Englehart, was interested in necromancy, but Braith was not quite coherent whenever we questioned him about what he was seeking, other than Englehart's death, at least.
Hmm.
And it seems like that entity, Cthulhu, drawn to that place, perhaps, some sort of residual power. Maybe there's some information on him there about other people who have been affected. Or perhaps not. I thought the best way would be to send in a small army of scholars from the halls of Ivy, because we cannot chronicle 2 to 10 million books in any sort of usable time frame.
It takes me forever to translate these things.
Will
Is
you have
everyone still agreed on that?
I'm agreed, but do we think it would be best for you to have a hand in picking those who go up?
I mean, I could have some time, spend some time, certainly at the halls, vetting people. I would probably have to tell them of the potential dangers of some old ancient creature that is out for vessels.
You would have to escort them there
Medical.
the first time, though, because of the
Yes.
shield around the library, correct?
Yes, I would have to teleport them. Currently, I don't believe anyone can get in and out.
Well, once you teach the sigil to a few individuals, they can do the escorting for anyone else.
So we have control of it right now. I believe potentially I'm the only one who could get in there because we put the shield statues within the shield, and that magic was considerably powerful. That is, of course, unless Amon has another way in or some prior knowledge. If they have tomes from 800 years ago or so when they last visited, so I'd have to tell them that there is the potential danger of a lich. I'm not sure if the halls could accommodate that many books that quickly, but maybe it would be best to move them. But that makes that knowledge potentially more vulnerable.
From your understanding, do the halls of Ivy know anything about the Brotherhood of the Last Flame? I don't think we discussed reaching out to them about that.
I don't believe we have. I believe they know something about everything that goes on within Lament. I didn't study in the section on cults, but there might be some knowledge or some specialist
No, not me either, I'm afraid.
field.
No, actually, I'm a specialist in that field. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
I believe I only have one teleport for the day. So if we went, we wouldn't be able to get back until the new day, or we could wait, and then I could teleport there, and then we teleport directly to the library, and then I teleport back out again with the Aurochs.
Yeah, I don't really feel good about leaving him there too long.
No, it'll be we can't. It'll be a day, but I certainly can do it tomorrow.
I'm sure he'll understand. I mean, he spent God knows how long in that soul gem.
I just think he's probably getting hungry, and
Sure, but he can survive a day in a basement whenever, he's just spent centuries in a gem, right?
Yeah, no, that's true.
I mean, I'm sure his didn't have any needs for food and water when he was there before. Or am I just muddying the issue?
He won't be hungry, I don't think, for a while at least.
Well, no, I understand that, we can't do anything about it right now. I'm just saying, so I feel a little responsible for him. I called him into the world.
That's a good feeling of responsibility, Remy. I think it's good that you're concerned.
Yeah.
We were thinking about perhaps bringing him here and having him meet the ice giants. They seem fit to the husbandry for a creature of that size. What with they're looking after mammoths, right? Was that the intention? Unless he tried to go somewhere else.
That was one of the thoughts. I think he said he would like to go someplace with grass. And he's probably from the Feywild, he said. So, but I don't know if we can send him there, so.
Out of my hands at the minute.
No. He'll have to be content with choosing his way in the world and in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, so what about the furry goblins that came out of the floor with the spiders?
Oh, yes. The Corrids.
Yeah.
We should check on them. It has been a little while.
I would like to organize an expedition to go down that hole.
I would agree. We could do with mapping some of the region.
Elishan doubles over in pain as your entire body is just like racked with. It feels like you're just being squeezed like this, just furious pain inside of you.
Shit, are you okay?
I don't know.
After a few seconds, it passes.
You look kind of constipated.
Hopefully that's all it is.
Too much chaos in your diet.
Maybe.
Perhaps you should. It's been quite a long day.
Yeah, it's sort of. I imagine it's kind of getting towards evening at this point.
Oh, can I draw you a bath or something? I got those bath salts. Those are working real nice for me.
I have some of my own, Remy. Thank you. I can manage. But if you don't need me,
I'll walk you back to your rooms.
Okay. Just as you're leaving, I don't know if I could just catch your eye like a come back later type look
Is that to Rose or
to Rose, because I was going to speak to her while Elishan had left, but I can save it till later.
Okay. And then I guess whenever Elle and Rose then leave the library.
Are you all right?
I think so. Well, I don't know. If I'm going to be honest, I don't know.
That's a very complicated answer. Very simple question.
Well, honestly, like I don't know what just happened in there, but it's been a long day.
A lot to unpack.
Yeah, to say the least. You were kind of amazing earlier. I mean, I know that you're a cleric of Lathander and all, and you use his gifts frequently and all that, but I don't think I'd ever seen you quite like that before. It's kind of like everything Guradan and Fenderall threw at you. Just kind of, it couldn't touch you. It was, Lathander was clearly blessing you.
It's been a long time since I've done something like that. But I really want to talk about what you did.
Oh, yeah. I was
hoping to deflect.
Yeah, maybe. Just a little bit. What did you want to know? I mean,
Well,
I know it was stupid,
mm-hmm. but it needed to be done.
And in hindsight, I could have called him back with the airstone, but I didn't. I did something drastic. But I'm not going to say that I'll take it back, because I'd be lying.
I get that, and I understand that. But I just want to make sure that you're acting from the right place.
I was angry. I was angry that they took him away from me. It's been a year, almost exactly, since Kidius.
And you saw someone else you care very much for disappear as well.
And I wasn't going to let them take them this time. But
but
when I was in, I tried to send Evelyn back. And whenever I do that, draws me into them sometimes. And whenever I was in Doskant this time, she showed me Kidius. And I don't know if he was real. And you were doing some fantastic things, showing like the thunder like clearly blesses you, Rose. And it wasn't exactly something that was available to us during the time whenever we were trying to figure out what happened to Kidius. But do you think Lathander would tell you now if it was real, if they have him? Could you seek the answers out? Commune with Lathander? Get some answers. She looks a little desperate.
Elishan.
I need to know if she's telling me the truth. Or if it was fake. If it was fake, I can put it all behind me.
Elishan, you have to understand something. If you really want me to ask these questions, you have to be prepared for the answers.
I know.
Because I really want you to think about the possibilities. What does it mean if it was fake? If he's really gone? Are you prepared for that?
If he's really gone, then I can move on. And if he's really there, then I know where to find him.
Which one is better?
I don't know. But I can't stand the not knowing.
I understand that, but I don't. You need to move on. I've been telling you this for how long? And it goes beyond that.
I mean, it's not so much that I can't move on. It's that I'm responsible. If he's really there, then it's my fault. If he's really there, then I have to do something about it, because no matter what my feelings might be for Akidius or for Arthas right now, the fact that remains that it's my fault that Kidius is there.
It is not your fault that Kidius is there,
How
or
do you
wherever he
know
is.
that? You can't say that with any certainty.
No, but I just did. Listen to me. You have to move on. This isn't healthy for you. This isn't healthy for any of us. There are things that happen that are outside of our ability to control them, and we have to accept them. I can ask Lathander for the answers if you want, but I can't guarantee you like what he has to say, or that he even knows anything. It's your call.
I made my choice. And while I've made my choice, the fact still remains that I am obligated to help Kidius if I can. If I can't, then Lathander can maybe tell. I can't speak to Selune the way that you speak to Lathander. Selune doesn't answer me when I pray to her. But you might get an answer.
Your god may just be deciding that you don't need the answers. And Lathander may decide the same thing. Because right now, you are borrowing trouble.
That is my favorite currency.
We have a war. We have to finish whatever we have to. We started with the chaos.
I don't always feel in control anymore. And I think part of that is, emotionally, I am not. I was angry with Guradan, and I should have been scared.
That's worrisome.
I know. It worries me too.
Well, I will let you rest. And we can talk more about this tomorrow if you wish.
I know it's a lot to ask. It's not a small thing to ask you to speak to your god for me. But if you can help me, I can't lose control like that again. And I feel like if I know for sure what I'm supposed to do, then I'll have a little bit more control.
All right, well, meet me in the temple tomorrow and I'll ask your questions.
At dawn, I suppose.
Always.
At dawn, we'll pray.
At dawn, we'll pray.
All right.
And I'll make my way back to the library.
Very well.
Did you mention the Kidius thing to us after the fight?
I did.
I thought you did. Good. Okay, you come back.
Maybe it did not share how much it was affecting Elishan, but
Sure.
share, and the whole like choose thing she only shared with Arthas.
Okay, so I don't know. I think maybe in the meantime, like Remy and Byron were maybe discussing or planning some sort of expedition into the mines, like who they might
Sure.
take with or what kind of stuff they would do, because that's on his mind as well. It's nice to have an ally so close. So they're probably planning when Rose comes back.
And Elishon just goes and retrieves Arthas and they, whatever.
Don't cough up any hairballs now.
Yeah. By the way, Alishon and Rose can have inspiration for that little.
Sweet.
I guess you guys would see Rose walk back into the library, and she's kind of got a worried expression on her face, but she pretty quickly kind of schools her features, and quite an eventful return.
Nice to see everything's still where we left it.
I was worried for a bit.
She okay?
She'll be okay.
Okay. So, you like spelunking?
I'm sorry, what?
You like spelunking?
That's I mean, I guess?
There's a big hole in that cave we're gonna go in.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. Is this the one with all the gems?
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, we got, they owe us a little money, so we gotta go in there and collect.
do they really owe us money? Or are we just making that up?
They owe us very little. Well, they moved in. It's debatable who owns that mine, I suppose, but they were generous enough to give us what they didn't need. They seem to be expert at finding wealth, and they have no necessity for it. We can make use of it. I would like to see them protected. But first we need to know what's down there.
There's a knock at the door.
Remy pulls his dagger out just instinctively from inside his bathrobe.
And Vela comes in.
Wow.
I'm going to ask where them and the students had been.
And she just says, oh, sorry, I'm hoping not disturbing you.
Oh, of course not. It is nice to see you.
See, she's carrying the paired chest to the one you have. And it's like quite a small chest, but you know that, it's basically like a bag of holding in there sort of thing. And she just says, the others are just writing up a report of what they found for you, but well, I just thought I'd bring you the things we found.
And more.
She grins and she puts the chest down and opens it. And she pulls out some sacks of money. And I'll put all this in the chat. She brings out a strange decanter. She pulls out a pair of golden shackles, some strange-looking armor, and a weird-looking ice staff. I'll put actually what everything is in the chat.
Okay, I will check with that at some point. That is quite the hoard. And he's like...
She grins.
He's standing quite straight and smiling as like the ice stuff and all the rest of it is given over onto the desk.
Where did we get this? I'm sorry, I was...
This is
Vela's
just come in and is kind of delivering the stuff they found in Cragdall.
Oh, nice.
He looks at her quite genuinely. You seem to have a knack for this.
Well, I mean, she kind of wipes brushes her hair off her face. Just, it was a team effort.
And how is the team?
Good. Arden is still himself. The students are, well, they're excited, enthusiastic. They're already planning a second trip.
Everyone came back well, I hope.
She nods.
Excellent.
Was your trip okay?
We got a flying ship.
I saw that.
Byron kind of, like nods, acknowledging that. It was incredibly eventful. A library, some sort of extra-dimensional being, thieves, and an ancient ruined city filled with the dead.
She kind of smiles. Oh, that's sounds like something you'd enjoy.
Catches him a moment, a slight grin.
What's
Smile.
the mood in here right now? Does Remy get the sense that he should leave?
Like we're
No,
like,
he-
pitching
he-
towards the door.
Byron was going to debate. That wasn't the splunking wasn't the business Byron wanted to debate.
She is
People just keep coming in.
she is kind of I don't know, she's kind of nervous around Byron a little bit, I would say.
Sure.
And Byron's just fucking Byron.
Byron, was there anything you need me for?
Yes. It kind of breaks him from his reverie.
And she sort of says, "Yeah, I'll go and get something to eat now."
You should. You should. And he, I think, watches her go for a moment and then turns to the others.
Remy's going to call after Vela.
You look very nice today, Vela.
And you don't hear a response. She just keeps like, I imagine it's just as she's left the door, sort of thing, and she just keeps walking.
I'll look up at Byron and give him the old double eyebrow.
I mean, we could leave if you want to go after her.
Byron sighs a little. No. Business. Always more business. And he like pulls out vials of Chaos Lord sludge. Or one of them, and like maybe holds it up to the light. I don't know if it like swirls black and purple, like oil or something. Something struck me while we're in that library. It seems those afflicted with chaos get immediately better to some degree upon the death of a Chaos Lord. I think we may be able to succeed where others have failed with this cure by something a little unorthodox. This is essence of Chaos Lord. It may be our salvation.
So what, you like smoke it or something?
I figured we were to mix it with the Marin's gift and the other curatives,
Oh.
and maybe it would bring a quicker relief. Or maybe it was the ingredient we needed all along. And he's trying to read, while speaking to Remy, he's trying to read Rose and what her reaction is to.
She's definitely kind of like both like intrigued by it, but at the same time, it's like you can see her posture is kind of tense. Like you've brought in basically unfiltered chaos into the keep.
I mean, there has been a lot of chaos influence in this keep already, but I am largely keeping it in the bag of holding. But we might be able to use it as a weapon against the enemy.
It could be useful. I mean, your instincts are usually pretty right about things like this.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't think I understand. Can we use this to help Elishan, you think?
I believe so, and the druids of the Oldfanger. The cure is taking some time, and we will need more time still to work on it, but This
Hey.
may well help.
Sorry, Rose, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I was gonna say perhaps we shouldn't have many of the students working on this. I don't want to expose unneeded people.
Byron nods. Of course.
Yeah, it's always a bad idea to expose yourself to students.
And yet here you are.
Yes, I certainly think utmost care is to be taken. I still haven't entirely convinced myself of how I'm going to start wielding this substance.
Carefully.
Maybe- Carefully, yes. Perhaps with a little contemplation, we can make a start.
We probably should definitely make that a priority.
Can I see the vial?
Yes. Byron pauses for a moment, just to look, assess it for any kind of structural weaknesses or potential accident causing things, but it takes a split second, and then he gives it to you.
Paying no mind to that, Remy will sort of examine it, and what I'd like to do is make a nature check, with which I am proficient, to sort of get a sense of its like chemical qualities. Whether it's the kind of thing that can be mixed and distilled, whether
Sure.
it could it be powdered, things like that. That's pretty good. So that's going to be a 20 exactly.
Okay, so it seems like a kind of a very viscous, thick liquid. As for its kind of properties, you're not really sure how. I mean, you reckon you could make something out of it, but you don't. There's no indication of what effect
It's one solid color all the way through. Does it seem to have lots of stuff in it?
It's kind of the swirling blue and blackness of chaos, I would say.
Okay.
But yeah,
is there any phosphorescence to it or anything like that?
no,
Light?
no.
It's inert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, seems like the kind of thing we might play with small samples of first. Maybe one drop at a time.
Quite so. I would have to study its behaviors. Try and assess its reaction when introduced to other materials.
You got a lab?
I think we had the beginnings of. She'll have to see how it has progressed. Arden was working on it, and we can put some effort and time into it. I'm thinking of various extra safety precautions now, considering this payload. But
Remy goes to hand it back and then goes, "Whoa!"
Byron would tense up, maybe.
I'm just kidding. Right here you go, buddy.
I'm able to obviously do these things from a distance, and he flourishes Milton and the rest of it. So if we can create some sort of protective barriers, I've actually been working on such arcanely. May come in useful. And he gives you a little grin. He's quite proud of that spell that he hasn't got to use yet.
Very well. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss this evening as it kind of turns to slowly to night?
I think we should change the cocktail menu in the inn. No, no, I think maybe
Guys, happy hour is it can't be 3 times a week, all right? We gotta.
Byron, I've got things to do. Now is
Ladies'
not the
night.
time.
It's Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'm sure Byron would probably say what Rob said. Is any more discussion topics?
There's a knock at the door. Son of a bitch!
I'll just install a revolving door, shall I? If not, I will. I'll say to the students and
So
aim to retire.
very well. So we sort of will cut ahead a bit. Everyone's in bed. It's late, nearing 1 o'clock.
So Remy is awake because he did drugs.
Yeah, Remy's not going to sleep for the next fucking week. Pretty much.
He does put
and-
on pants though.
Yeah, okay. He's not a fucking savage.
Right?
So Arthas and Elle are in her bed. They're asleep. Whether or not they've been asleep the whole time is neither here nor there.
They were not.
It is here then, apparently. And they're both sort of slowly drifted off to sleep. And kind of as she's lying there, she reaches up to scratch her face. Maybe her hair is tickling her cheek or something. And as she does, she jumps awake. And you feel this like white hot pain where you scratched. And you see, like, you open your eye and you kind of see blood out the corner of your eye. You sit up and you look down to see that instead of your usual kind of small hand, you have this elongated claw-like talon. And you look at your other hand and it's the same. You feel this burning pain across your back and over your shoulder blades. What do you do?
Roll away from Arthas and try and figure out what the fuck's going on.
So I imagine he kind of wakes up, kind of feeling you roll off, and he just sort of like bolts up, sits up, and you see he's kind of all tensed up, and he says, "Elle, what is it?"
Does she know?
Not really, but as you're kind of, imagine you're sort of standing up at this point, you kind of see your hair fall in front of you for a second, but you realize that your hair is gone and it's feathers that are sort of was tickling you in your sleep. He just kind of looks at you like his mouth opens slightly, and as you're kind of just standing there, he says, "Your hands. What?"
That's a big case of what the fuck.
What does she do?
I mean, what's going on?
So your hands are elongating into talons. You're feeling this horrific pain in your back, kind of just like around your shoulder blades, and you've got feathers for hair. And your whole body just feels like on fire.
I think she would just kind of back away from Arthas and like not really understand what's going on and just kind of be lost in whatever pain that is.
So he like gets up and he kind of sees that she's scared and kind of backing away. He walks towards her and he's just gonna like pull her into a hug, and sort of like almost like trying to like hold her and kind of hide, sort of bury her face in his kind of shoulder and his neck so that she can't sort of see the transformation, kind of calm her down a bit. And she says, "It's going to be all right. It's going to be yeah, it's going to be okay." And he's trying to like
happening?
he's trying to like keep himself calm, to keep her calm. And he's, as you're sort of feeling this, you feel this kind of wrenching feeling in your back, and you feel like your bones kind of sliding against each other, and you feel this like horrific kind of explosive pain in your back, and we see these two huge black feathered wings burst out of her back. And it's just utter agony, and she's screaming in pain, and her skin begins to turn this kind of light gray, and this mantle of feathers that covers her hair and her upper body Her face begins to become angular, and her mouth fills with razor-sharp, pointed teeth. Her bedclothes melt away, revealing just like her feathered, kind of shrieking form. And her claws, like as she's hugging him, her claws are digging into his back and just like scratching him up. And he's just holding her, and he just doesn't know what to say.
Well,
Somebody get the cleric.
I mean, what the ever-loving fuck is what her reaction would be.
So for everyone else, it's clear that Elle has somehow turned into some kind of harpy creature.
But do we get some sort of notice that this is happening?
No.
I mean, there's screaming, I would assume.
There's probably a little bit of screaming.
Remy's awake. If he hears screaming,
Yeah, sure. Make a perception check, just because it's the sort of pain where, like, your breath is taken away. You know, like you can't scream.
Like Remy is only a floor away.
Yeah.
So I imagine you'll likely hear her, but
I rolled a 14.
okay, yeah, that's fine. So Remy's on his way down.
Yeah, Remy will dash down.
Is Elishan gonna say anything, or is she just?
She's just gonna, I think, just make sounds like, what the fuck is happening to me? Because she doesn't understand what's going on.
Just hold her and kind of rock and just say, I don't know, but it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. I imagine like Remy bursts in.
Yeah, throw the door open.
Yeah,
and
so you just see basically Arthur's hugging like a giant black harpy.
So I've got my sword out.
Arthas, what the fuck is going on?
And he just like turns to look at you. He like holds her head and he just like flicks his hand like, get out. And you see his face is just not laughing.
I'm not going anywhere. What the hell is going on?
Well, then he puts his hand up and just wait, stay there. And he just like kind of keeps rocking. He's like, it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. And then
Remy will call out for Rose.
Yeah, I was gonna say he looks at you and just says like, get Rose.
Yeah. I run off and I'll throw the door open in Rose's room.
Sure.
Yeah, like Rose is probably, or not Rose, but Elishan is probably just like, because this is a painful transition, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Described as like 4 times.
Yeah.
Yes. So she's probably just kind of like just trembling in pain at this point, with probably not really cognizant of what's going on around her.
Yeah, definitely.
Arthas.
The pain is sort of starting to abate now that you've transformed, but you still just feel this pain and you feel weird and different. And you can feel that you have wings and you're not really sure how to process that.
It's like, what the fuck are feathers even?
Yeah.
Because they're there now,
Yeah.
apparently.
And so Rose and Remy come back and Arthas is holding her and he says, I don't know what it is, but I think she's changing like I do, but this is different.
Can you help her?
I can certainly try.
And Arthur say, wait a moment, wait. And he kind of like he'll sort of move ahead to look into his eyes and just say, just breathe and concentrate on your normal body. Okay, just relax.
And she just kind of like focuses in on Arthas's face and his words and his whatever, and she just tries to calm herself and try to remember what she's supposed to be.
Yeah. And so as he's holding you, he's like breathing like like trying to kind of coach her, and slowly her form begins to shift back to normal Elishan form. And there is like this kind of cracking, snapping noise as her body like folds itself back into its normal form, and it hurts a lot again. But when it's done, there's no marks. The only marks are really the ones all over Arthas from the claws.
Remy will grab a blanket off the bed and throw it over Elishan.
Yeah, her clothes come back. Like they
do.
How does that work?
Not noticed.
It's
It's like classic werewolf magic bullshit.
She doesn't have like Hulk pants.
No, like like Arthur's when he transforms, it's sort of his clothes get disappeared or whatever.
Gotcha.
And it's the same with her. And he's just holding her and just like rocking back and forward and just sort of, I imagine he's probably making like crooning noises and just saying it's gonna be alright.
And she's probably just 100% just what the fuck ever on everything else other than Arthas right now.
Yeah,
Get her back into bed, Arthas.
he nods, and he'll just pick her up and move her to the bed. And then he'll put her down, and then he'll kind of like walk back over to Remy and Rose and kind of have an aside quietly with them. Just she just started changing. Like, I don't know, but it was full of chaos.
I mean, it was chaotic or it was chaos?
I mean, it was both really, but that was chaos doing that.
You're sure?
100%.
I mean, I guess you would be the authority on the matter.
He thinks about being offended by that, but kind of ignores it.
It wasn't meant to be offensive. It was.
No, but he's just like, oh, okay, fine, Jesus, sort of thing. But I think she'll be all right. But it seemed like lycanthropy almost.
All right.
I don't really know what happened.
Remy's gonna go over and sit next to, if there's a stool or something, Remy will go and sit next to Elishon and hold her hand and pull out a flask and set it on the table for her if she wants it, and just sit there and hold her hand.
Did she attack you? Rose will ask, kind of like looking over.
He shakes his head, and he says, as far as I could tell, she never lost her personality or anything.
That's important.
I mean, she scratched me a bit, but that was an accident.
I don't like this.
Me neither. I don't know. I don't think we can do much else. So.
Not tonight, at least.
No. I'll stay with her. Make sure she's alright.
Well, if you need anything.
He nods.
And Rose will head back to her room.
Awesome. And we'll take a quick break there, just for a second. Very quick though, because I know Dylan has to go in like 45 minutes, right?
More or less, yeah.
Cool. All right. So we'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll come back. Cool.
Thought you were going to be a bird lady from now on.
That would have been cool.
I mean, I might be.
Well, it
You
seems
don't
like
know.
you can shape change now. Is just what's up.
I mean, yeah. I mean, some lycanthropy is cool and all. But harpy business is interesting.
Mm-hmm. You have to role play like squawking all the time.
Please don't.
For sure. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, like I'm like raspy voice, all like
Or just like you can
Yeah.
only talk like a parrot, like just only things you've heard before.
and like mantling feathers as like, shit is like going down that she doesn't understand. It's just like, feathers flaring and then like slicking back all like crazy. Go nuts. His instincts are all like, what the fuck? Versus like, Elishon versus logic, whatever.
Elishon versus Logic.
Her greatest enemy.
Funny thing is, this is definitely not the last time you use chaos as a weapon.
Oh damn!
Probably not.
Well, that went sideways.
What, the bathroom?
No, thank
It's not
God.
supposed to do that, Rob.
Yeah. Coated the walls.
Like the guy with the Prince Albert, it goes like that.
Yeah. It's fun. Maybe everyone else should get to 5 points of chaos as well, and then we can like do like awesome stuff like that.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, fuck you, Rob. But that's awesome. I have wings now.
Fucking is awesome. You can.
It is
fly and
awesome.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll send you the stats over for it, and they're not like normal hobby stats. They're a little bit big.
Fucking boss is what you mean.
Yeah, so basically now, once you kind of figure your shit out, you can use an action to use like harpanthropy or whatever it would be, turn into a harpy.
Is this shit gonna be cured whenever they cure me finally?
I don't know. So I'm gonna have to figure out.
When they finally get on that shit?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Maybe somebody should stop
I
me.
know
The
you're busy.
library's miles away.
I mean, I know you're busy.
Literally, nobody else has this problem. So
I mean, I know you guys are busy, but this
Rose
is
is having story time with Willow right now. She's telling all the stories.
Yeah, so Elisha just turned into a harpy lady. That's a new one. Just like as soon as you walk back in.
It's not story time, Byron.
Meanwhile, Byron's like got his sleep apnea mask on, snoring away.
Byron is a perfect specimen. None of that nerdy shit. It's mostly him just going, it's a lonely job being a Castellian, as all of his friends have midnight parties.
I mean, not all of us
I'm
can
nervous to
be
listen to him.
perfectly unaffected by the chaos.
He hears her screaming and just assumes like they're listening to music and like having fun, and they're like, I never get invited to the parties.
Wow, having fun. Apostrophes. Quotation marks. I don't really know about other people's business.
So
they're suspended.
Next morning.
Remy will have slept outside Elishan's door. If he could sleep.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, she probably had a lot of like, what the fuck just happened to me conversations with Arthas.
Yeah, I mean, I assume you probably actually fell asleep pretty quickly just because
exhausting.
Like, yeah, that's you're pretty much broken after that. And Arthas definitely would not be sleeping.
So is everyone going to have levels of exhaustion apart from Byron, who's all like pithy and ready to go on this spelunking adventure?
It's a new day.
He's got like base shorts on and the pith helmet and all the rest of it.
Amazing. All right, what would everyone like to do then?
Well, Elishan is going to apologize to Arthas for cutting him because I'm sure that you said that she cut him with her talons.
Yeah, you scratched him up.
Yeah, so she would apologize for that and have that whole oh, I'm so sorry type dilemma.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all right.
I mean, I hurt you. It's not all right.
Just focus on yourself for a bit, all right? This is nothing. Like motions to his back.
Well, I mean, it's chaos stuff, right? I mean, I can't just more of that. I mean, is it the chaos that did it, or
he nods?
It's just, this isn't exactly something I was expecting to happen.
Somehow me neither.
Be weird if you did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hurt you.
He just like, he won't say anything, but he'll get up and then he'll just say, I think you have a meeting with Rose.
Do I?
Yeah,
I don't really want to face anyone right now.
I understand. He'll sort of like get up and he'll just say, I'm gonna go tell everyone you're all right. And I'll bring you up some food.
Am I though? Really?
I don't know. And he'll go and he'll like open the door to find Remy there. Thanks for staying out here.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
Remy will stand up, pick himself up, dust himself off.
I should probably go put a shirt on.
He kind of grins slightly, but you see his normal kind of jovial expression is somewhat faded. And he'll go find Rose. Knock on her door.
Yes.
Well, I just thought and come let you know. I think she's alright. She's fucking petrified, of course, but I think she's gonna be alright. I don't know. And you see he's like trying to convince himself that she's gonna be okay, but he's really not sure what to say.
And Rose will probably place her hand on his elbow. She will be all right. Byron and I are working on the cure.
He nods and he says,
Well,
she doesn't want to see anyone right now, as you can imagine. I'm gonna take her up some food.
it's probably for the best.
He nods. And we'll kind of smile and just say, thanks, Rose.
I'll make sure she rests.
He nods. And he heads off, and as he heads off, you see that like his back is just covered in scratches. Because I guess, yeah, he'd not be wearing a shirt yet, because the first thing he did was go up. And then yeah, he'll just bring up Al like a small plate of various foods. What would she be doing when he came up?
She would probably just be lying in bed, kind of, hugging her knees, all like traumatized from the events of like the past couple of days, and just kind of doing the Elishon thing where she like blames herself for everything that's happening.
Yeah. So he'd like kneel down next to the bed and hand her a cup of water and just say, how are you doing?
I mean, I hurt you. I'm sorry.
No, that's really not the thing you should be focusing on right now.
And what is it exactly that I should be worried about?
He like looks incredulous and he says, well, you turned into a bird thing.
Into a what exactly?
I have no idea.
Everyone's like afraid that I'm going to turn into a monster, and then I actually fucking did. I mean, what am I supposed to do now?
I think you're supposed to wait for them to find a cure, and you're supposed to rest.
But I mean, these are my friends, and
they're going to do everything they can to help you.
But I mean, I turned into this thing that's not even remotely close to any type of human, and they're just supposed to ignore that? Act like it's normal?
No. You know, Remy sat outside our door all night. If he was afraid of you, he would have left. But he wasn't. He was worried for you. Everyone is.
She just had like tears like rolling down her face.
They
At this
care
point.
about you, Al. We all do. We don't want to see you get hurt. We don't want to see you have to go through this. And we're
But
going to do everything we can to help you.
I shouldn't like. I mean, they hurt you.
You seem kind of get like exasperated at that. He just says, "Look, you scratch me a bit. It's nothing. It's fine. But what you went through last night is 10 times worse than what I did. Maybe 100 times.
I mean, what do you mean?
Well, I heard you scream. I watched it happen. The first time I transformed, it was agony. I know what you just went through.
But it was all chaos, right? I mean, the chaos is turning me into something I can't control.
Well, maybe you need to learn to control it.
I mean, I think that's easier said than done. It's not exactly like your lycanthropy, is it?
My lycanthropy, I didn't have control of that when I first turned. I almost killed Layla. And he kind of like rubs his forehead a little bit, embarrassed. He'll take her hands in his and he'll say, look, you got to stop thinking about everyone else for a little while and focus on yourself, okay? This isn't easy, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to be hard, but you're going to be all right in the end, okay?
Is it all chaos, though? I mean, is it going to go away when they cure it? They're going to cure it, right?
They're going to do their best, and, well, they'll cure it. I know they will. But I have no way of knowing. But you'll be okay. And put her into a hug.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm kind of a mess right now.
Yeah. Stop apologizing.
Easier said than done, Arthas. Easier said than done.
I'm sorry. I'm always apologizing.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
And he'll like pull away after a little while and say, right, well, you need to eat something, get your strength back up. And he'll like force the plate of food into her hands.
She'll reluctantly eat, apparently.
Yeah, and he's like watching it to make sure she does.
Remy will, after he puts some clothes on and arms himself up for the day, he'll go to find Byron.
I don't know how much time has passed. I don't know how many reports I've had to read through or how much interaction I get with people this morning, but I'm sure he's been up for a while
Yeah.
and ready.
Well, he'll find you, I guess, in the library.
I imagine so. Maybe Milton has like brought him breakfast and like he has the decanter out or whatever with morning tea.
So Remy will come over and sit on the windowsill in his usual position and say,
Well, I think El's a bird now.
I imagine I'm reading through one of the reports at least that was expected of me. While eating something, I imagine there's, I don't know, some toast type thing like hovering next to him.
yeah, biscuits.
Yeah, breakfast biscuits. I'm sorry, what?
Last night, El transformed into a bird lady with claws and sharp teeth, big wings. clawed the shit out of Arthas. Accidentally, but...
Byron, like, it stops, and I imagine the toast was sort of bobbing up and down a little bit in his hand, and that sort of just freezes in place. And that you see, if you're looking, there's a tenseness to his jaw. She did what?
Well, I don't think it was on purpose. Seems like it scared the shit out of her. And, seemed to hurt. She's, pretty terrified. I'm sorry I didn't wake you. I didn't think there was anything you could do, and at least one of us should be fresh in the morning. And now you are, so maybe you can focus on the work that needs to be done to help her.
How hungover / coming down are you off these drugs?
Yeah, you're back to normal, Remy.
So
Gets over cocaine.
He did sleep, you know. I mean, he's got a pretty high tolerance for this stuff. I don't know. I can roll Constitution save.
You're definitely feeling a little bit hungover, but like, you know, you're fine. You're operable.
Yeah.
I appreciate your concern for my beauty sleep, but when one of our cadre turns into a creature within our own keep, I think I would rather be notified.
Well, you're right.
I don't like people making decisions about what I can and cannot do.
Well, I didn't think about it that way, but maybe that's fair. Either way, I didn't want to leave. I slept outside her room, and transformation was over and done within just a minute or two.
She has returned to normal.
Yes, yeah.
It was good of you to stay outside.
Well, you know, I had a cousin back home, you know, and I like my pipe weed and things. He had a problem. And, you know, things kept getting worse and worse for him. And nobody could tell him to put the pipe down. Now, I know we benefit from having Elishan be able to pull chaos magic out of her ass from time to time, but I think it's gotta stop.
He like rubs his eyes with his fingers. Well, if I could spend even, 2 hours without something atrocious happening somewhere in the world that we have to solve, I might have been able to solve it already. It's not ideal that she continues to be corrupted, and it's not my inclination to leave her that way. I guess I should go to the Halls of Ivy and see if I can expedite the alchemy lab. We have a ship.
Anyway, we do. Any way I can help?
I think we take the ship and I make a requisition of all the appropriate accoutrement. Perhaps have someone come to install it. And then I can start on this right away.
So maybe, go ahead.
What did you observe? If I'm to treat this, I could at least know know the symptoms.
Well, she looked like one of those bird ladies from the stories. Claws on her fingers and feet. Feathers for hair. Lady face, but teeth.
From his description, I don't know, can I pull a picture out of a book somewhere? And
yeah, fucking, yeah.
It's a harpy?
Byron.
Okay. Akin to this?
Yep. Bingo.
Does he? Is it a harpy, but a little bit more chaosy, or?
I mean, I wouldn't know how to determine that.
Sure.
I mean, the picture's probably not black and grey.
Yes, but I don't know if she was particularly,
Well,
jagged and floral.
It gave you a pretty chaosy vibe.
Arthur said pretty explicitly that it was a chaos issue.
Very well. Has Byron ever? Can he make a check? Has he ever heard of people, being like in your world? Do people get turned into harpies through curses or exposure? No, it's just a bird woman. It just happens to look like a harpy.
Well, she is a harpy, but
sure.
So easy for you to say, Rob.
Yeah.
I guess by the fact that I was not informed until now that Arthur's aren't particularly up to speaking, although.
Well, the biggest reason I didn't come and get you, was and maybe this wasn't my call to make, but I thought that one more cook in the kitchen would only serve to freak her out.
Yeah, I kind of figured that like Arthas is probably the only thing keeping her calm at that point.
I understand, he says to Remy, but if I am to cure something, I need some exposure to the patient.
No, I know. From what I saw, and I didn't see the transformation itself, you'd have to talk to Arthas and talk to Elishan when you're ready. But yeah.
Sorry.
Go. No, it's just what I said. She looked like that.
He's getting up and putting on his incredibly posh coat or whatever, and while I imagine the thing is the bread or the whatever just swoops in occasionally and takes a bite as the sleeves are going everywhere, and he's being dressed. Right. Well, I'm going to set off. I'm going to visit Rose first. If you wish to come with me and help, then be my guest. And I have not forgotten about the Corrids.
Well, I think that can wait.
Mm-hmm. Ready?
Ready when you are.
He nods and then marches with some determination towards Rose, wherever she is, breakfasting or otherwise.
Yeah, she'd probably be down and eating breakfast.
So he blows into the tavern with a very determined step, and stands there. I imagine there's a slight waver to his coat. I heard what happened last night. I believe we need to sort this problem now. I'm aiming to go to the Halls of Ivy, requisition all the required necessities for the alchemy, and then start work.
All right.
Are you happy here, or do you have any business in Vyros?
I have no business elsewhere right now. But if you'd like me to accompany you, I can.
Well, we're not going for a fight, right? There's no reason to think someone was going to start any shit.
No, I don't believe the halls are prime brawling grounds.
Oh, respectfully, then, Rose, maybe the best place for you is here with Elishan.
I was going to suggest the same thing. Perhaps my magics could be needed.
One addendum. I will be needing to use the airship, so we will be revealing to the world that such things exist, and whatever repercussions come from that, but don't have the time for subtlety.
Just
real quick, couldn't you just teleport and do your work in the lab there?
No, but I need the equipment, and I don't have enough teleportation to...
No, I mean, you do the work in Vyros.
I'd rather do the work here.
Agreed. I should not use the Chaos Essence within the most populous place on all Lament. Just
Fair
in
point.
case. And he like turns to, I don't know, the other people, be they guards, Alan guards or Helga, and just nods to them, "Good morning," and then turns.
And they're all just like staring at you, so confused by what you're on about.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you can. So are you teleporting, or are you taking the?
No. What I wanted to do was, I don't think the alchemy lab was anywhere near finished with some woodworking from Arden. So I was going to go to the Halls of Ivy, requisition an alchemy lab on whatever page I can.
Load it onto the ship.
Load it onto the ship and then bring it back again.
So I mean, I assume you're like dropping a spike here, so you can just fly to it, like without having to make the checks.
I mean, I could, but maybe he likes making the check. No, okay.
You're like Will Smith and iRobot. Like you could use the autopilot, but it's way more fun, even if it's 100 times more dangerous.
Can I leave the spike in my library and then just maintain control when we get near the keep? So
I mean, you could, but that seems needlessly risky.
Oh, okay. I will put it.
And it's just gonna into the library.
If I put the spike on a battlement, will the ship come to a stop nearby the spike and not have crashed?
It'll hover over the spike,
right?
By wherever you put it.
So, as I'm getting to where the ship is on the walls, one of the battens just flies off in the mage hand with the button being pressed or activated, whatever it needs, and it just gets wedged into one of our broken towers, I guess.
Yeah. Cool.
Before we take off, can we get Sage? I know you're there and back.
Can we get what? Sorry, what?
Oh. Sage, the
Oryx.
Take care of the bull.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand. I was going to use teleportation to have the hall start the library requisition. Okay, and he's just kind of muttering to himself, with rubbing his temple, and almost halfway through climbing up the ship, he just grabs Remy and just goes. And they appear right in front of in the basement on the stairs. I think
Sage is just there. He's lying down. He's just snoring away.
Hey, buddy!
I'm scratching behind the ears.
Hello.
You want to go eat some grass? Bet you're hungry.
Yeah. I'm hungry.
Come on.
Back they go, I imagine.
Yes, basically, hello, Sage, you're hungry, and he just go. Byron doesn't even say anything; he just goes, and they just appear outside.
So Sage has the fur of a cow or a bull, right? And you land, you appear in the kind of snowy keep area, and you see him kind of look around, and then he just leans down and begins pushing the snow and eating the grass. And you see that his fur, just in front of your eyes, just begins to grow and become long and shaggy, like a Highland cow. And he's clearly just immediately adapted to this environment in a matter of seconds. And it's just
so cool.
Thanks. Just chewing on grass.
I imagine a whole bunch of people in the keep Bazrag or something. What the hell?
What the fuck is that? Remy puts his hand up his head. This is Sage, and he's my friend.
Oi.
Be nice.
That's right. So he's just rubbing his forehead my goddamn job.
Yeah.
What's Arthas doing right now? It's mid-morning, it sounds like.
He's pretty much just gonna sit and watch Al and make sure she's all right and help her if she needs anything. And I don't think he's his entire focus is on her.
So she shifted back and everything's back to normal. Quotation marks.
Yeah.
So she'll just kind of be was that chaos? I mean, I hurt you, I think. And she kind of looks at his healing injuries, it sounds like.
Yeah. And he ignores the part where you said you heard him, but he says, "Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine it was chaos, right?"
I mean, did it feel that way to you? Or is it just...
I think so.
So it'll go away once they cure it then?
Maybe.
She sounds a bit hopeful.
Yeah. He doesn't want to, like, corral false hope, so it's like, maybe. We just don't know.
I mean, I don't know what happened. I haven't heard of anything like this happening before.
He shakes his head.
I'm sorry I hurt you.
Stop apologizing.
I mean, this...
And he'll say like, why don't you get a bath or something? Relax. Take a book.
It's easier said than done.
I know, but just try. And he like thrust a random book in her hand and like frog march her to the bathroom.
I think she just allow herself to be manhandled or
Pretty
whatever,
much, yeah.
so that she doesn't have to think about it. So that she doesn't have to think about it herself.
Yeah. No. While that's happening, what's Rose doing?
I imagine she's probably just like puttering around the keep proper, just watching everyone kind of work, making sure it's Crean probably back sweeping.
Yeah, Crean is basically now like a curling player, which is like sweeping in front of Rose walking. No, I don't know. Yeah, Crean is sweeping, and like other people try and take the broom, and he like snaps at them. And yeah, you can do whatever you're gonna do.
Is she gonna commune with her god like Elishon asked her to?
I mean, I will.
I mean, I know it's a 5th level spell and all.
No, I
Did ask.
I mean, you said you were going to go with her, but you didn't turn up.
So
she's
I
having the day off.
The thing is I think that Rose would go despite Elishon not being there.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate.
So,
I mean, she does have a lot going on right now.
We'll remind you, it does take a bunch of money, I think.
no.
Incense in a vial of holy or unholy water.
Okay.
Oh,
So I was thinking of something else. What's the one that costs 250?
I need 3 questions.
Yeah.
Is Kidius alive? Is he in Daskent? I can't think of the third question.
Can Elishon be cured?
Can Elishon be cured? Yeah.
Okay. Yes. No. Yes.
Okay.
It's encouraging.
Very well. And so it probably takes the better part of a day for you to fly down to Vyros. I'd say, or maybe like half a day to get down to Vyros.
It took us 4 hours to go.
Yeah, that's.
Real
I think that's
fun.
still less distance. So maybe it's about the same.
About the same.
I
Okay.
have to consult my map, but yeah.
Your
I think-
map.
my map. Yeah. So I think you can sort of. I'll say you can get it done in a day, like there and back, and.
I mean, this is like bright and early in the morning. Like,
Yeah, and you could probably like radio ahead to tell them that you want to.
Sure, I have a whole bunch of things. So yeah, I can radio in and go.
Yeah, we can sort that out in the downtime because I think unless anyone has anything pressing, I think we should probably end around about here.
I mean, Elishon has lycanthropy, apparently. And whatever else.
Yeah, I mean, there's some shit going down with you people, but yeah, I think we'll finish up there. So we'll return in season 3.